Please.
Turn the dial, turn it loud. Miami's pride, make us proud. CanesWear crew, you hear the crowd. Hurricanes ain't backing down. Every play, every score. Raising bets and raising roar. Rocking orange, green galore. All for one and one for four. We got FTSN, taking names, win it again. Podcast fam, till the end. Tune in, now let's begin.
Hello and welcome to the CanesWear podcast. Today is what do we got? We're Thursday. You never know if we're going to be on Thursday or Wednesday. That's the great thing about Gio and I. You just never know where we're going to be. Today's Thursday. I believe it's still 10/8, correct?
Yeah.
It's 10/9 actually, Gio. Congratulations. I'm glad you agree with me. It's Thursday, 10/9. We're on.
We even have the days wrong.
Yes, we don't know what day it is. I know we don't know what time the show is. And we do come on to different times. We're both on usually by 9:29 sharp, and we are here. There's always some technical problems, so if you know the Brett and Gio time, it's usually about 15 minutes later than you expect. So welcome. We are here, myself and Gio. Hopefully Mondo will join us, and it feels great to be a Miami Hurricane. Remember, this is by the podcast. Follow, like the FT with. What do we got again?
FTSN Network.
What? FTSN Network. Thank you. Okay. Fin Talk Sports Network. Bobby and the team do a great job. We're sponsored by CanesWear, the spot South Florida, and Miami Fan Shop. CanesWear.com. Lots of really cool items. Great weekend off. And we're excited. Gio, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Miami's 5-0. They're up to number 2 in the country. I have my in-laws here in town. I'm eating some arroz con leche, homemade.
All right.
So I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. Everyone shoot as many questions as you have, and I try to answer as many as possible.
We will try to answer as many. It seems like we played FSU 2 weeks ago. It just for some reason with the sandwich buy around that game, it just seems like it's been so long ago since we played FSU. I think it was just Saturday, a few days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It just seems like forever ago. And 28-22, the Canes win. We know it probably could have been 45-3. But Gio, the way I look at it is, in a way, it's a little bit of a blessing that we didn't blow them out. I mean, for bragging rights, it's not as good. For the state champion shirt we made and the Canes Country shirt we made, it's not as good. And we do have those at CanesWear.com. But it's good because now this whole week, Mario's got something to talk to them, and they're not going to be pumping their chest too much because we're the third period kings. We are destroying teams through the third period. And for some reason, when the Big Four comes up, everyone sticks up their four fingers. We are not. We're so far ahead that we just take it a little bit easy. So we need to learn to put teams away. I know Mario wants to do that. I know people are blaming it on Mario's conservatism, if that's the correct word here. I don't know if Mario's conservative or not, but in the fourth quarter, he definitely is conservative. But I thought it was a couple of things. I thought it was execution. The one pattern I don't like is when we put everybody in tight and everybody in the world knows we're going to run the ball. And we've done that every year. It's like, okay, everybody squeeze as close as you can. We're all friends here, and let's just jam it up the gut. I mean, if they would do a flea flicker play like they did earlier with that offense, they'd score 10 out of 10 times. Did Mario get too conservative?
I think yes and no. Obviously, here's my thing. I have no issue with Miami wanting to lean on their run game to close out a game. I have no problem with that. I just think it comes down to more so you need a little more diversity in terms of the play calling with the run game late in a game rather than just running up the gut 3 plays in a row, whether it's outside, a toss, just something a little switching up. Don't entirely go away from your pass game either. The play action was working very well for you throughout the game. Even if it's just a quick little dump off or whatnot, just to keep the chains moving, because I think when Miami's offense kind of lulled there, then your defense goes back out on the field and you're on the field for 19 plays, and then they get the onside, and then it was quite a bit for the defense. And obviously the plan with the defense kind of changed too. There was a little more off coverage, more bail technique, kind of just giving up what's underneath, nothing over the top. I get it. Look, in reality, no matter what the numbers show or the score at the end of the day, that was a beatdown that Miami gave Florida State. It's a cliche, that old saying that the score doesn't tell the entire story. And it's true with that game. Miami did beat down Florida State.
No doubt about it. I mean, 28-3, right? And people were already knocking out Carson Beck. He's not good anymore after the game he played against Florida in the rain. I mean, I have never, I believe, seen a quarterback throw as accurate a long pass as I saw in this game. And every single pass, the guy didn't even slow down. Even the one that Malachi just missed at the beginning of the game was really right there in his hands. I mean, Carson was just dropping it right in their hands. I thought it was phenomenal, his long passing.
Yeah, he had a really good game. We mentioned this before. I know some fans, or even Florida State fans or Florida fans, were saying beforehand, they're like, oh, well, the rain is just an excuse and whatnot. Miami did have rain games, 4 games in a row to open up the season. That is a reality. You had your first dry conditions game in Tallahassee this past Saturday, and sure enough, Carson Beck has his best game as a Hurricane so far. 5 games in, this was his best game. I think the offense is going to continue to improve. Hopefully we don't get much more bad weather here in South Florida, but that's never a guarantee down here if you've lived here for as long as I have, or you have, Brett. But I loved what I saw from Carson Beck. I absolutely did. And Malachi Tony, we've talked about the kid throughout the offseason, and especially even with his hot start to begin the season. I think the craziest number to me with Malachi Tony on Saturday, I mentioned this during the game, it was his first 100-yard receiving game as a Hurricane. Wow. That's kind of a little mind-blowing to me, considering how well he's played like early on the season. Just for that to be his first 100-yard game, probably should have had it against Notre Dame, but they didn't want to call pass interference and whatnot. But that was kind of just like my takeaway with that. I couldn't believe it myself. I'm like, wait a minute, this is his first 100-yard game? That was surprising to me, because he's been phenomenal. And then CJ Daniels, steady and consistent. I do think, though, however, I've kind of debated this with people for about a week now. I think Miami needs a third receiver to kind of step up and elevate. Doesn't have to exactly be on the level of Malachi Tony or CJ Daniels, but someone close enough in production or just splash plays. I'm looking at guys like Josh Moore, or potentially JoJo Trader, or Keelan Marion. Even though Marion's starting right now, I do think Miami needs a little juice from their third receiver if you want to go far this year.
Where is Josh Moore? I mean, he got the 2 touchdowns. I know he was banged up a little bit in that game against USF. They didn't throw to him the next game against Florida. And then he had the bye, and then he was on the non-injured. He was not injured, and then did he cut? Are guys getting in and out of the doghouse that fast?
No, well, it's not a doghouse that Josh Moore is in. It's just he had some snaps in the Florida game, not that many, and then had some as well in Florida State. I think Miami just more so kind of leaned on their guys that they really trust at this point in these last 2 games. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they open up that rotation a little more like how they did from game 1 to 3 in comparison to what they did with game 4 and 5. I think it's just more so how those 2 games played out is kind of what we saw transpire there. So I wouldn't be shocked at all that next Friday night that you may see Josh Moore potentially getting a little more opportunities, JoJo Trader making his way back onto the field. He hasn't been on the field since game 1. So things like that. And Tony Johnson, who made some splash plays a little earlier on this season, hasn't really seen passes come his way. So, and I'm not saying that, oh, it needs to be a charity that everyone needs to play. It's not that. It's that I do think Miami needs a spark in terms of a third receiver with the offense. And I think they have to find their consistency with a tight end as well. And I think Elijah Lofton is starting to show that. He showed the last couple of games, but they have to continue to rev that up as the season goes along. That's just my 2 cents on the offense. I think they'll be fine, but that's just little concerns I have right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just looks like, and I'm not at the practices, just looks like guys that have done well, like I keep bringing up Josh Moore's name because he obviously had the game that was great with 2 touchdowns, including that great touchdown catch when he pulled the ball away. And I think he'd be great going long, and he's a much bigger target than the other guys. I mean, he's 6'4", correct?
Yeah, he's 6'4", about 216, 217.
6'4", yeah. So that's the kind of guy, and he's a freshman. So obviously he's a pure freshman, but so is Malachi. I'm not comparing them. But even with our slim down team, even with the lack of receivers that we have, they've been doing phenomenal. And speaking of guys we've been missing, Mondo, welcome to the action.
I'm alive.
Shirt, we got the green one, and we're getting the orange one in tomorrow, actually, of that shirt again. We sold out. We're getting the orange one in tomorrow. What does that shirt say, Mondo?
It's well, come on now, which is all facts. We run this state.
We run the state, baby. Not just scores. It's just serious. And 2 years in a row. So you can always wear that. The state of Florida, we run the state. We'll have that tomorrow in orange again at CanesWear. With the Canes country, Canes champ, we own this country and all the stuff, whatever it was. Good to see you, Mike.
Let me ask you, my man. I know that Eagles game is going on. How are you feeling?
Oh my goodness, they're losing. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's been a crazy night. The kids and the Panthers playing, and the Eagles and Giants. Yeah, the Eagles are down on 14-3. Now it's 20-17 at the half. So, yeah, I don't know. They've been playing kind of funky the last 3 or 4 weeks. So hopefully they pull this off. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
I want to ask you, just sidebar here, aside from the Hurricanes, but I've seen this where I call them attention-grabbing social media accounts where they say like, "Oh, look at this player's face after the game," or whatever. Like sometimes guys, they just want to get to the locker room. It's nothing personal or anything like that. Or whatever, it's just about their business. But they were making a big fuss the other week about Devonta Smith and AJ Brown after one of the Eagles games, and like going through the tunnels, and they're like, "Oh, they look pissed after the game. They're not getting the ball and this and that." I think it's a little overblown, to be honest.
Yeah, Devontae and Jalen, as you know, Alabama guys, they've been cool forever. Now, yeah, AJ Brown, even the recent stuff, AJ and Hurts aren't exactly buddy-buddy, but not everybody breaks bread outside of work. It is what it is. But, yeah, last game he was targeted 9 times and had 2 catches. So he did have that tweet. So, yeah, today he's had a couple of good grabs. But, yeah, they ran with it a bit. Offense has been a little off this year, I'll say that. But, yeah, it's especially not Smith, but, yeah, the Brown part might be a little overblown, but he's got a ring, so I think they'll be fine.
I think we got to blame it on the Madden cover. That's what it is.
Yes.
It could be. It could be. Yeah, you weren't going to expect Barkley to run for 2,000 yards again. We knew that was going to happen. But, yeah, the offense definitely hasn't been as good as last season, but it's a long season. Like tonight, Jalen Carter's not playing on the defense. Every time he's out, their defense stinks. Even though Jackson Dart, I will say, has made their offense, the Giants' offense, has given them a little spark the last couple of weeks. Ever since he took over for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's get to some questions. Mondo, you got anything to add before we get to the comments, or you want to just chime in after? Tell us.
No, I was just able to jump in now. And I'm glad to be able to jump in. Real quick on FSU, I was actually up in Tampa because my oldest turned 14, so doing the whole Halloween thing, and there were a lot of screams there at Busch Gardens. It may have been coming from me as I'm watching the game on my phone. And let me tell you, there were Hurricane fans there, and they were like over my shoulder, "Hey, what's the score?" and this and that, and it was exciting. Like seeing Jacoby Thomas on defense, looking like a man child, and
Ah,
then
beast.
I mean, do I even have to name the freshman wide receiver how good he looked?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really has been. It was a remarkable game. I mean, the fourth quarter, yes, I know Gio alluded to it. It was sleepy at best, but hey, they pulled off the win, and they've now beaten Notre Dame, Florida, and FSU in a matter of weeks. So we can't complain.
And USF too. Isn't USF? Are they ranked USF still?
Yeah, they're ranked.
I mean, they only lost to us, right?
Yeah.
And they beat us. So, and Florida is now a little better than they seemed by beating Texas.
I'll say this though, like in terms of the late lulls with the offense that it's kind of spiraling a bit. Some of that I think it's just boils down to mental mistakes too, like the amount of penalties that the offense has had. Mind you, like it's almost jarring to see how good Miami has been, like even just physically imposing at the line of scrimmage this year. But then you look at the factor of the penalties and the flags. They're still overcoming that. So makes you wonder, what can this team look like
That's
when
an issue.
they clean up some of those things? Because I think that's kind of what held them back a little bit last Saturday from blowing that game wide open. I really do think so.
I mean,
do you with the targeting?
You had Jordan. I remember it was one of the late drives. One of the first drives in the fourth quarter. They had Jordan Lyle in at tailback. He caught the pass where he spun off the guy's back, whatever, and gained a couple of yards, and it was almost the first down. Then you're about to get up to the next play. You have like 3rd and short. You're trying to keep the chains moving, and then boom, false start. And then you got to punt again. Then, they go on that ridiculous 19-play drive. Then Miami gets back on the field, and you're sputtering on offense again, and another false start again. So I think those are the type of plays that you want back, because people think of it like, well, maybe we could just throw a pass on 3rd and whatever. No, the defense is going to pin their ears back, and they're going to try to create some confusion in the backfield that you may not get that pass out. That's why you want to stay ahead of the sticks and just avoid those penalties. I think it's something that maybe some of us are overlooking a little. Like, yes, would be nice to see Miami play a complete game from first, second, third, and fourth quarter. I think the only one we've seen that really with may be the USF game and Bethune-Cookman, those 2 games. I'm sure Miami fans would like to see it more frequently, but I do think the flags they're definitely contributing to some of that going on.
Mondo, were you saying something?
No, I was just going to ask Gio, but in this specific game, and I get your point on the other games, would you chalk this one up to they just lost focus with such a big lead? Because for 3 quarters, it was like a total annihilation. Then they just stopped. Yeah, they lost.
Well, there was
it happen all the time. Yeah,
there was a total change in philosophy on defense too. They just kind of said, all right, we're going to stick in cover 3. We're going to play bail technique with our cornerbacks, and we're just going to give up everything underneath. And I get it from the aspect of, don't give up a big play over the top and whatnot. It didn't really work. I was surprised they didn't try to get away from it or whatnot. But at the end of the day, they came out with a win. I don't think, at least in my opinion, did I have some concern that, Florida State could make the score look closer? Yes, when they started doing that. And then when the offense was sputtering with some penalties and not getting it done exactly. But I just think that with the defense as well, just what they were doing schematically in that fourth quarter. Tommy Castellanos, the type of quarterback he is, he's going to extend those plays. And you saw it. It was just your usual 10-yard out, a quick curl, everything that was coming underneath. And again, it is what it is. I think Miami will be fine. I think when the game is at its highest pressure, I honestly believe this with Miami this year from what I've seen with my own 2 eyes. When the game is at its highest pressure, I think there's maybe only 1, potentially 2 teams that compete with Miami on a football field this year in college football. It's Ohio State Oregon, I want to see a little more. And I know they're going to play a top 10 team in Indiana this week. I've been on this for weeks now. I've been saying that Indiana's not as good as people think they are.
They blew out a good Illinois team.
Well,
yeah, good Illinois is in the this week.
I said the same thing about Illinois, though. I've been talking about that with Illinois since last year, that they're not that good of a team.
You did, yes. No, we'll find out about. I want to see that Oregon-Indiana game. I will say about Ohio State, their offense isn't as potent as before, but I watched their whole game against Washington. Their front four is pretty fierce. Ohio State's defense.
Caden Curry, their defensive end, he's got to be top 3 in the country along. I think he's number 1 in terms of pass rushers, but Curry is right there with him. He's insanely good.
Yeah, because we've seen Belichick obviously having issues at UNC, but I had Ohio State over Texas. Many people had Texas winning that opener. I just thought Ohio State at defensive coordinator getting Matt Patricia was not being mentioned enough. And look, we all know they got studs on defense. I mean, you could probably put Brett as the defensive coordinator. No offense, but yeah, their defense is very.
They didn't hire me.
It might have been the drinking, but on the defense is pretty. I know they haven't really played anybody since Texas. Washington is not elite, but I saw that whole game, and that could have been a different game. They got inside the 10 a few times, and every time they did, Ohio State said, "You ain't getting by us." Like their front is pretty tough.
I'd say most people are saying, you see them nationally, are saying Miami's the number 1 team in the country. But you know what? It doesn't matter to the end of the season. As long as if we're 1 or 2, if we finish number 2 during the season, I'll be quite happy.
I will say this: they posted it on the. I remember vividly watching the broadcast the last game several times. They kept posting that graphic of Mario's 4-10 in November and December. Ultimately, that's what he's going to be judged on. So that's going to be huge. Until he quiets them this year, then we won't hear about it.
Correct. He's got to get his first one. Once you get your first one, and he's got to go. I mean, at this point in time, I don't think Canes fans want anything less than going all the way. I don't think we're going to be satisfied with the Final Four finish. I don't think we're going to be satisfied for losing in a national championship game. I mean, at this point in time, it's win or we hit your guts, coach.
That's the bare minimum has changed now. I mean, now playoffs to me feels like a foregone conclusion. I mean, if you don't make Jim Mora, there you go. If you don't make the playoffs, it'll be a disaster.
Yeah, if they don't make the playoffs now, but anything's possible because you got Georgia Tech and Virginia both undefeated, so it's kind of.
That's an interesting scenario, though, with Georgia Tech and Virginia, because they don't have that many good teams remaining on their schedule in ACC play. They're hypothetically, it doesn't always play out this way, but hypothetically, if they go undefeated and Miami goes undefeated, this early gauntlet, and yes, I call it gauntlet, what Miami played, because you had to play Notre Dame. You have to play a USF team that is way better than people anticipated for them to be coming into the season. You played a Florida team that knocked off Texas. Whatever people want to say about Texas, whatever. Texas, they are a tier 1 recruiting program.
And of course.
Transfer portal, too. Like, regardless of the issues with Arch Manning, that team is stacked to the brim with talent. So what Florida did, knocking them off, that was no easy feat. Whether it was in the swamp, doesn't matter. That was not an easy feat for Florida to do, especially spiraling off the losses they had with the LSU game and Miami and the 5 interceptions against the Tigers and then losing to USF. Billy Napier might have saved himself some time, I'll be honest. I know there's recent reports. That came out over the last 24 hours that UCLA is looking at Jed Fish, former Miami OC and former head coach and whatnot. Now he's with Washington. Florida better not screw the pooch, because I've said this before. I think when it comes to the Florida Gators program, they always talk about recruiting and whatnot. That program always does best when they have an innovator on offense. And Jed Fish can call an offense. He absolutely can. We saw it during his time with Miami. He made a lot with very little, to be honest, considering what he was given. So We'll see what happens with Jed Fish. That would be a home run hire for UCLA. I think he's a tremendous coach. He's a Florida alumni. He's a Steve Spurrier guy as well. If Florida messes that up, I don't know what to say, because I think that's the easy one for them. And he would go there in an instant to go back there. He loves it at Florida. So we'll see what happens with the coaching carousel, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, guys, we'll talk more about that. Let's get to some questions and comments. Juan Manuel, first on the board. Welcome, Juan Manuel. Gio Mondo, it's great to be Miami Hurricanes. Gentlemen, be honest. Now that you have how have you felt looking back after 5 games? The Canes have exceeded all of our expectations. 100% agree at this point in time. We're feeling great. At least I am.
I'll say this. I said throughout the offseason that I felt this was Miami's most well-balanced roster since I said the 2004 team. I think it was their most well-balanced roster since then. I'm not surprised about them winning the games that they have won. I'm a little more surprised about, and this is me, I ended up being wrong on this, but I wasn't expecting Miami to look so darn physical, like looking like the most physical team in the country. Yeah. That I wasn't expecting. Did I think, they'd win some trench matchups? Yeah, of course. They have some guys up front, but I wasn't expecting like this. That is really impressive regardless of the scores. The eye test shows it.
Totally agree. That's is it just the defensive coordinator that we changed? Because the defense last year or this year is like, I remember North Carolina did it a few years ago, that they went from a terrible defense to a great defense. A defensive coordinator can make a difference. Just, they're all athletes, these kids. So it's great to see that we are the physical team, which we have not been. We have the trench monsters.
Well, I think what's impressive with Heatherman, too, he's making the calls from the sideline. He's not up in the booth.
Yeah. We need him on the sideline, his energy. Even Mario seems like he's 10 times more pumped up. If we were winning, it's like, he seemed like he wanted to step
there you go.
on their throats. Exactly. Hassan, welcome to the show. Gio Breton, Mondo and his guns. Good evening. What a great day to be a Cane. Let's see. What do we got here? We got, what's up, fellas? Your boy Cane. Welcome to the show. Great to see you. Juan Manuel, hey, there's a fire and emergency garage sale in Chapel Hill, all North Carolina memorabilia, and Bill and Jordan Hudson bedroom video.
No, and it's funny he mentions that, because also I remember, I think Gio or people have been going after the pseudo GM there, Michael Lombardi, because a couple of years ago he was making comments about Mario and the joke that was going on allegedly at the time here, and looking at them now, they look like it's a disaster over there by all accounts. So.
I feel bad. I really feel bad for Bill a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, everyone says, but he's got this girl. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't care what age or what.
Look, I think it's
women, but I mean, it's like, is he that, like, he can't be that excited anymore? I mean, he's getting beat up in the press, beat up everywhere.
I think it's beyond the girlfriend thing with Belichick. I think it's more than just that. It's he feels that he was also slighted and kind of pushed away from potentially getting another NFL job. He tried interviewing for others, and he claimed that Robert Kraft, that whether it's true or not, no one really knows at the end of the day. He claimed that Robert Kraft spoke with other GMs and whatnot, and kind of had Belichick shunned from being able to speak with other NFL teams. Whether it's true or not, we don't know at the end of the day. But I think some of him going to North Carolina was that itch that coaches get sometimes, that they say, hey, like, I could still do it. Like, I still want to continue being around the game. Sometimes players get that itch too. So you asked me personally, I think one of the most important things in sports is knowing when to step away from the game before tarnishing your own legacy. Look what's happening with Russell Wilson right now. He may be one of the first players,
you took it out of my yes.
He may be one of the first players he was bound for the Hall of Fame, that he may have played himself out of it.
That's a great, excellent point, because I was hearing, I don't even know what show it was, but maybe a week ago, talking about when he was with Seattle, he would look like a first ballot surefire Hall of Fame. Then him and Pete Carroll had a falling out. He goes to Denver, gets all this money and plays bad. Goes to Pittsburgh for a year, and now he goes to the Giants, and after 2 or 3 games, he's benched for a rookie, and you nailed it, because I was going to go there. They're talking about Russell Wilson possibly playing himself out of the HOF, which is crazy, but that's the word.
That is crazy, because your resume is your resume. I mean, you start having late jobs, you shouldn't. That being said, I still think Eli Manning deserves it more. I know they talk about Eli Manning, Russell Wilson. He won 2 Super Bowl against the toughest team in the country to beat, the toughest team in the NFL, the Patriots, including the Patriots on the 16-0 season. And he made 2 incredible throws. Granted, they were a little lucky. That throw he made over the middle to, what was his name,
Tyree.
David Tyree. I mean, that was incredible. And then he made the Plaxico Burress play, I think. So that being said, he won on the biggest stage twice. Now, Russell came very close to winning it. He could have beat that same New England team.
Should have.
About that game. Hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, that's
it's like to just do a quick pass up the middle made no sense. I was so pissed off.
Eli's an interesting one, because if you look at his career numbers, obviously they're good, but they're not great. But he does have those 2, and he's got the name.
The wins are everything. You're right.
Oh, I got you.
That's the win. I know that Peyton was like, he was ribbing Peyton for a long time, probably, and then Peyton obviously got.
But I think Peyton makes it because with he was so good regardless. So Peyton's a different story. But
here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing with Eli as we continue on with the questions. The one thing I'll mention with Eli, yes, his numbers weren't out of this world. He was a winner, though. He found a way to get it done. And I look at it like the same perspective of, you look back at Troy Aikman's numbers with the Cowboys. Yeah. He wasn't super all-world, but he found a way to win. So I think it has to be taken into account.
He also had quite a bit of talent around him, Troy Aikman. Quite a bit of talent. Yeah. Jimmy stacked that team. Rich Millennial, how's it going, gentlemen? Hope you're having a great Thursday night. Is there anything you learned about this team after the FSU game? Good question.
That is a good question.
I wouldn't say anything new. I just would like to see them cut down on the penalties, though. I just think it's becoming very prevalent.
I learned, I think, that you know what? They stopped our run pretty well. We ran for under 100 yards, correct?
They sold out well under 100
yards. They stopped our run, and we proved that we could pass to win, which probably most people didn't think we could do. We proved in a hostile environment we could pass to win. And we did the play action a little bit, so we opened up the playbook. We did the flea flicker pass. So I think we proved that we're not a one-dimensional team. We were doing the run to set up the pass before. Now we can go either way, and I think teams have to respect that.
Yeah, I'll say one player on each side. I know Gio was big on him before this season. Daniels, the wide receiver, he continues to really be a wrecking ball, a force on the outside. And on defense, I'll say his name again. I thought he looked like an NFL guy, Thomas, number 8. He looked like a quote unquote, a men among boys cliche, but he really did. He really looked like he was a dominant figure on that defense.
He does look like him. He's a transfer, right? So our 2 best transfers are him and Carson, probably, correct?
I got a great story about him. He was on that Middle Tennessee State team that beat Miami.
You had to go there.
Wow, I did not know.
Incredible how things come full circle.
So was the lineman, right, that we got last year?
Yeah, Marley Cook,
Yeah, so is Marley Cook. But I will say one guy that nobody's talking about. I mean, everyone's talking about the freshman sensation in Malachi. But Bryce Fitzgerald, I'm pretty sure, is a freshman, right? He is a total ball hawk, the way he goes up for that ball, and he's only going to get better. I mean, guys like that are always around the ball. We'll see if it continues. What does he have, 3 interceptions now?
3 interceptions through 5 games.
Yeah, and he's just, he knows where the ball is. And he's just a freshman. That's awesome.
Yeah, whenever the other team runs outside or even a receiver catches something in the flat, you just see these 3 guys.
The swarming nature.
It really is such a marked change in defense. It's really remarkable how good
I love it. This is just like the way I know everyone knows about the 2001 team, the 2000, 2001, 2000, but the 80s teams with those defenses were phenomenal. To me, and they were just swarming, gang tackling everywhere. Let's see. Juan Manuel will know it with North Carolina's football reputation will ever be the same. Football players selling game tickets deport. Okay. Blue, welcome to the show. It's been a belt to the ass all season long, just missing Ohio Taint now. All right. Yes, if we can just, that would go ahead and solidify the season. Are any new recruiting updates, Rich asks?
So actually I had one set up for yesterday within the Discord. Haven't been able to wrap that up yet and got caught up with a few things over the last 24 hours. Looking to drop it either tonight or tomorrow, and I'll discuss some tidbits that I can out of it sometime in the upcoming days. But nothing too major right now. Just it's bye week right now. Coaches are making the rounds, visiting guys. They've been out in Georgia. They went out to the West Coast as well. So I'll have some little feedback on that soon, but nothing groundbreaking right now to talk about. I will say, though, one thing. Like I mentioned a few weeks back, and finally it's official now, but Kenton Dobson is now in the 2026 class. That's been the case for weeks now, though, him reclassifying from 27 to 2026. Just now there's the official announcement, but Miami's been operating as him being a 2026 guy for well over a month now, and it's looking very good for him to stay with Miami with all the uncertainty going on in Chapel Hill with North Carolina. North Carolina, they made an aggressive push for him. The kid really loves Miami. He wants to stay down here. I've had the chance to talk with him after one of the games that he visited Miami for this season at Hard Rock Stadium. So I like Miami's chances of keeping him. And I will drop one more tidbit. This is the best position Miami has been in for Calvin Russell from Miami Northwestern, the 5-star receiver, since his junior year of high school. Miami's in their best position they have been in with this recruitment in the longest time now. I think Miami has a legitimate shot. Not saying it's going to happen yet, but I think they have a legitimate shot, and they're very much in it to be able to flip him away from Syracuse.
That'll be awesome. But I will make one prediction. I'm not the recruiting whiz. I leave that up to you and Mondo.
Well, thank you, Brett. Appreciate that.
But I'm going to make a prediction. If the Canes keep winning, we can pretty much have any player we want, as long as we're not. As long as if we're after a player, we should be able to get just about anybody. Wouldn't? I mean, obviously, if money's the same, anybody can offer a fortune.
Well, yeah, I'm no recruiting guru like Gio, but I will say that quarterbacks are definitely looking. I'll tell you that much after the last 2 seasons.
Well, I'll tell you guys something about quarterbacks, though. Because I had someone ask me this question. I think it was in a group chat or on the Discord, and I had a response to it. Here's the thing. I think, yes, high school quarterbacks, they'll continue to look at Miami, and they'll always have interest. But there's a very truthful reality going on in college football now that a lot of the top teams, they prefer to pay the top dollar to the proven quarterback that comes from another program rather than some 4 or 5-star kid that you're not even sure if he's going to make it.
You don't know. Exactly.
So I feel bad for high school quarterbacks because I think personally Jaden Rashada kind of set a precedent that was very bad for guys ahead of him with everything that transpired.
But on a good note, these guys may go to smaller programs. I mean, not that we want the top guys, but if they want to play out right away, they're going to go to smaller programs since the competition is going to be a lot more even.
Yeah, well, I think what you'll see going forward, and you've already seen this play out, that a lot of the top programs, they'll go after a transfer guy, or they'll have a highly ranked young guy that you're going to have to come in on a bargain compared to what was being negotiated in the past because of the landscape in college football with transfer quarterbacks. For example, look at Ohio State right now with Julian Sayin. He was a 5-star kid out of the state of California, Carlsbad, California. He played in a private school area there. And, he kind of waited for his time and winning the job. And now he's starting. He's having a decent season right now with Ohio State. Obviously, jury is still out. He's still got to play other games. But so far, so good with him. A guy like that, you could get – it's kind of like the NFL with running backs now, quarterbacks in college, that you kind of got to get to that second contract now if you're coming from the high school ranks with the way everything is happening now. You obviously have the outliers like Bryce Underwood getting millions of dollars to flip from LSU, Michigan. But I think those are going to be very few and far between now with how it's played out in college football. Teams don't want to mortgage the whole future on a kid that may not be the guy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting going forward because, like, to your point, let's say a kid coming out of high school, hey, let's say I'm thinking about going to Miami, but you know what? Damn, they're probably going to pluck the best college, one of the top 3 college quarterbacks. So do I want to go there? That's an interesting dynamic to see what's going to happen with that, with kids going forward. In other schools also, but I'm just using Miami as an example, obviously. But like now looking at the last 2 seasons, Ward, number 1 pick, possible Heisman, and now Carson Beck right now is like the 3rd or 4th in the betting odds for Heisman, playing great. So to Gio's point, if you're a kid coming out of high school, there's got to be a little bit of a fear, of course. Like, damn, am I going to get to play if I go to Miami? Like, they're probably going to get the best.
Playing as a freshman is, playing as a freshman. If you're good enough, they'll probably, let's say, next year we got nickel. I mean, I don't know what the deal with Emory will be. If we have Coleman coming in, it's hard to imagine a freshman is going to start for this program because is he going to fight off the competition? So we're no longer going to be going for other guys because you're going to have to sign that freshman if he's great to more money the next year. It's not like you're going to have to sign him and you have to sign him as a junior. When you sign a 5th-year guy or a 6th-year guy, he's not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. Unless it's the Florida State quarterback who may decide to just quit in the middle of the season at Boston College. Speaking of Florida State, good point here by Raymond Rodriguez. I bet the FSU fans that were talking last week will not be on the show tonight.
I haven't seen them yet.
It was crazy. There was thousands of questions, but the FSU guys try to derail the show. They even got Gio, who's ultimately the most patient guy in the world. Gio was getting like, okay, enough with these guys.
Yeah, it was too much. It was hundreds and hundreds of comments of them just bantering back and forth saying, oh, you're not going to keep up with us. We're going to run 100 plays. Your defense is not going to be able to stop us. How are you going to stop Tommy Castellanos?
I know. How are you going to stop Tommy Castellanos said the same. You wouldn't have stopped me if we didn't stop ourselves. Well, Tommy, it was 28-3. What do you have? Less than 100 yards total after 3 quarters? And it took them 9. They were in a hurry up to get a touchdown as fast as possible, and it still took them 19 plays. And our defense had to be. I mean, it was anyway. It was a couple of bad calls against us. Either way, Kim Sanchez. Kim, hi. Good friend of the program. Hi, Kim. Love your. Hi, guys. Love your show. Glad you got your cameras fixed. Thank you. Yes, we did get them fixed, and we figured it out. Manny Fernandez, welcome to the show. Good evening. Go Canes. It's all about the U. You guys shouldn't get together with Alex. You should get together with Alex Dono in person.
I have before, actually. Me, Dono, and Michael Yo, we did a live show at the Fort Lauderdale Improv. I think it was like the day before or 2 days before the Notre Dame game. So, and sometimes I do appearances on Dono's show as well, but I'll ask him to come on over here.
We'd love to. Yeah, we'd like to take some guests sometimes. I saw Mario. We sponsored the Lamar Thomas show, and Mario was on there last night. I should have said, Lamar, tell him to come on. See if we can get Mario. That'd be great. Why not? Speaking of Canes legends, we're supposed to have Kenny Calhoun. Do you guys know who Kenny Calhoun is?
Yes,
of course. Kenny Calhoun, a legend himself, knocked away the pass in '83. Before he's going to be in the store on Saturday, next Saturday, to do a little autograph signing.
Nice.
So excited about that. He's a Cane legend. He doesn't knock that ball away. Who knows what happens in Cane history? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Juan Manuel. Hey Gio, did I catch Cole Mack, number 44 in uniform? Is he going to play this year?
He is just about back from what he was dealing with this offseason, upper extremity. Don't want to discuss in entire detail what the injury was, but I did not notice that during the Florida State game. I know he wasn't dressed for the first 4 games, so I'll get back to you on that after Friday night next week.
Slug Bruce, welcome to the show. Do you think we have enough depth to make a deep run in the playoffs?
I think Miami has the depth with their running backs. I think they have it at receiver. I think the defensive line as well, the defensive backs too. My only concern really comes in maybe a little bit with linebacker depth and just a little tints of it at defensive tackle. I'll be honest with you guys. I got a little concerned with Ahmad Moten. Got kind of shaken up in that Florida State game. And then, yes, everyone knows that Justin Scott, he can definitely play. But then what happens if another guy goes down or you end up hitting an injury bug? You never really want that to happen. So still have some questions there after their top three guys.
No, I want to chime in on that. Yeah, I mean, fandom aside, yes, they're good enough. You see the national guys like McLean and Josh Pate and all these guys have seen Miami play live, and they're saying they're the best team they've seen eye test wise all season. Alabama, Oregon, Ohio State, which threw some Ohio State fans in a tizzy when a couple of them said that. But I mean, if you weren't a Miami fan, you were watching that game against FSU, they looked different. That Miami was very impressive. At worst, right now they're a top 3-4 team. I don't care if you hate them or not, love them, hate them, whatever. And Beck showed it. You mentioned FSU stopped the run, and I still don't understand why people were doubting Carson Beck in the preseason, but he showed if he's got to win it by himself, or not by himself, but if he's got to do it throwing the ball, he can do that too. So they've shown, yes, our defense laid down in the fourth quarter. We had a big lead, but they can make a deep run. Their schedule is, I'll say, is friendly. They're good enough. Barring any big injury to Beck, or I don't see why they're not at worst a quarterfinal team right now, in my opinion. Forget about conference. They should be in Charlotte. They should, at worst, be a quarterfinal top 8 team in America, in my opinion, at this point. Long way to go, but if you ask me now,
I think most people rank us 1 or 2. I think the ESPN, FPI, the algorithm poll didn't have us like at 9, behind Notre Dame, behind Texas. It's like it made absolute. How can you rank us number 9? I mean, we beat 3 ranked teams, and makes no sense. It just
Texas is obviously
the SEC team an extra pop in that.
They say it's a computer analytics based model. Let me tell you something. That is one dumb computer.
Gio's obviously right. Texas is a perennial power, but I will say that their O-line is pretty bad. I don't know what the hell their O-line, and I'm not.
They lost Kelvin Banks too.
Yeah, I'm not trying to defend Arch, and I don't really know, but Arch was Heisman favorite going in, and that's over with. But yeah, Texas is reeling. Texas is they got some issues.
Rich Millennial, great question here. Looking ahead at the remainder of the schedule, what do you think will be our biggest challenges?
Biggest challenges, I'll be honest. I think it's easier dealing with a Friday night game at home, even though Friday nights are never ideal, or even the Thursday night game that's never ideal. However, coming off a bye, it's a much better and favorable situation. You don't have any more bye weeks after this, though, at least for a while. Even if you get to the ACC,
weird scheduling
for that too. Your bye week comes after your conference championship game, getting prepared for postseason if you make it that far. So I think that's a challenge in itself. I think Pittsburgh on the road, the absolute last game of the season, that's a big challenge. And I think if people are thinking of like coincidences and whatnot, a true freshman quarterback in Kenny Pickett beat Miami at Pitt in that 2017 season to spoil an undefeated regular season. Pittsburgh's got a true freshman quarterback right now who just started his first game this past week, and he actually looked pretty good. Obviously, he's got to continue playing more games. There's not a lot of film out on him. People forget this, that guys may have a 1 hit or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hit game wonders, aka TBD. But once the film is out,
he slipped that in there, didn't he? He just slipped that in there.
Once the film is out, teams figure out how to stop these guys or how to counter what they do best. So it's kind of ironic how similar it is. Last game of the season on the road at Pitt, true freshman quarterback. I think that's the absolute hump Miami has to get past. It's going to be cold weather, away game. Yes, Pitt already lost the game this year, but they are a good team. You look at their roster, Desmond Reed, the offense that they have good receivers. They have a good defense too. They have a really good defensive line as well. So don't sleep on Pitt. I think Louisville will be a challenge being Friday night, but I think Miami will handle that. And SMU could be a tricky one because of the pacing of their offense.
What's their record now, SMU?
They're 4-2, I believe.
Okay. I don't think there's any comparison of that team in my. I know we got to number 2 and we destroyed Notre Dame that year. Destroyed them. We beat Virginia Tech, who was pretty good, but we did. I mean, you could say we escaped a few of these games, even though we're clearly ahead. But a couple of those games, the Georgia Tech game, the Langham specials against Georgia Tech and against FSU. But you'll see. I mean, anything can happen in any given week. Most teams, it's rare that teams go undefeated. I mean, even Ohio State, national champions last year, did not go undefeated.
It's very hard to get up for a long season every week. It's NFL, college. It's not easy. That's why teams lose. It's not. This isn't a video game. Like, you got to practice. You got to. And these kids go to school. And Gio's point, they play at VT at Pitt to end the season. Louisville quarterback can play. They have a really good running back. It's a Friday night. That'll be NC State can score too. NC State is not a bad offensive football team, so that should be
Gio had to come to us, right?
What happened?
The North Carolina State. Good point, Mondo. Gio said that guy could be a possibility to come to us next year.
Yeah, he could be a potential option, the quarterback.
So you're right. Every game is tough. Look at the NFL. We just lost the Eagles and the Bills lost. So Dolphins' only team in 2 years. Now, obviously, college football, more teams are undefeated, but you don't always get an undefeated team in college football.
Now that being said, we're going to be favored in every game going forward.
Absolutely.
So I mean, yeah. So we should.
Speaking of that, I am so tired of when people say, and if anybody says it on a board, I apologize, but can you imagine if we had Cam Ward this year? I mean, we've got Carson Beck, who's doing phenomenal. I mean, who's phenomenal this year. The game he had, you could not play a better game than what he did against FSU. So I think it's just an injustice to.
I got a response for that when people mention that. I think the question should be more so, can you imagine if Cam had the defense from this year?
Oh my goodness,
he had last year. Because it's no slight to Carson Beck at all, or even no slight to Cam Ward. What I'm about to say, I think Cam Ward was a very special talent. He's one of the top 3 most talented players I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes in my 32 years of life, and covering this full time or even part time way back in the day. We're going on about 8 years or so now. That I've seen up close, and I've seen guys like Dalvin Cook and plenty of other players in the past. Cam Ward's all the way up there. He's top 3 I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. So, however, I think Carson Beck plays very well within Miami's system, and I'm saying this from a source within Miami's program that full-heartedly believes this, that yes, Ward's a very special talent, but you go back to a guy like Stetson Bennett at Georgia. He wasn't the most talented quarterback on Georgia's roster, but he was the program guy. He did it by the book, and he played within the system that they had. And I think Carson Beck does that with Miami. That's what I see, and that's a lot of what the opinion is too. I think they're both 2 very different type of players, both special in their own right. So no slight to either. Just I think Carson Beck fits very well with Miami's system, and I think he's having the most fun that he's played football since he was winning state championships with Mandarin High School in Jacksonville, Florida.
No doubt. I agree on that. He looks like from the beginning, he looked like he was really hyped. I'm glad for him because he's they hated him in Georgia. I mean, a lot of the fans I talk to, they say, everybody hates him. I like him. But he got such a bad rap in Georgia because he was following Stetson Bennett, right, who won 2 championships. I think that's the reason. Once you win a championship, it's you no longer want to just you don't want to just go ahead and get there. You need to win it every year. And that's kind of a curse. Yeah. Slug Bruce, can you see Thomas winning the Jim Thorpe Award?
Oh, that one has eluded Miami for a long time. The last guy was what? Benny Blades?
Benny Blades, yeah.
And Sean Taylor was
Benny
robbed.
Blades.
Sean Taylor was robbed of that award. You can make a case that Brandon Merriweather could have possibly won that award with his 2005 season. He was tremendous in 2005. Ed Reed, his 2 years back to back, he could have made strong cases for his junior year. It's very tough. I think a lot of politics go into these awards too. So we'll see. But the way he's been playing the last few weeks, if he continues that throughout the year, he could have a really strong case, or even as a finalist.
Yeah, and he did it on the national stage, and a lot of people saw that game Saturday night. And I want to make a comment on Beck, but first, Brett, did you just hear? I'm going to do my Mario right now. Gio just said he's only 32. Let's. 32. I hate you.
32.
Yeah,
and that's Fernando, a young man himself.
Beck is playing with something to prove. You saw him when he was celebrating those touchdowns against FSU. He's having fun. But, a lot of people were talking shit about him. There might have even been some Canes fans doubting him.
Exactly.
Everybody
was taking her side, his girlfriend's side. I mean, it was like, you can see he's got no friends. He's got this.
Yeah.
He's, I was talking to a guy today in Nebraska. He's a company we buy flags from, and buying out all their Cane flags. And it's like, he had talking about it. He says, yes, and Carson Beck and everything. And I said, are you a Nebraska fan? I said, no, I'm an Alabama fan because I've always been an Alabama fan. So he knew the SEC real well. But he just thought, Carson Beck, first thing was having a great year, got such a bad, rap at Georgia. And I think part of that is because they won the championship 2 years in a row. And, they expect the next guy to come in and win also. After Ken Dorsey won, the next guy up, you got to win. Luckily, in the run in the 80s, Miami, every quarterback did win. Everybody quarterback that played for us, except for Vinny, who won the Heisman, won. Kosar, Walsh,
Erickson,
and Gino. They all won. And then it ended with Frank Costa, who played in the national championship, but we lost that game. Let's see. Hurricane Pope, welcome to the show. I am just so proud of these boys. They are actually killing it, I guess.
No, there's an excitement level right now. Let me tell you, a lot of people are talking Canes. I even talked to people that are not really football fans or college football fans, and they're like, man, those Miami Hurricanes, man. A lot of people saw that game. Obviously, it was against FSU. A lot of people watched them, maybe fringe football fans, and watched the game, and there's a buzz right now. Miami football is pretty hot right now.
Look at our ratings. We're like, we're the second best or first best game every week.
Yep.
It's phenomenal. New King God, what are some players you think can break out in the second half of the season? Excellent question.
I'm looking at guys
That's a very good question.
Jordan Lyle being healthy now. I know he's still coming back from it this past week with the rolled up ankle that he had in the Notre Dame game. But people forget that I mentioned this going into the Notre Dame game, that he was having a really good week of practice. He ended up getting the start in that game and got hurt, got his ankle rolled up on. Yeah. I think he's a guy that can really flash in the second half of the season. And I think you'll see Elijah Lofton's role continue to expand. He's healthy now. And anyone else I would throw in there? One of Josh Moore or JoJo Trader. I think one of those guys needs to step up and elevate for Miami to continue making a deep run this year. I absolutely full-heartedly believe that Miami needs a third receiver that can be dynamic and can make game-changing plays.
What about on the defensive side of the ball?
I think everything is pretty much in place, to be honest. If anything, one thing I'll say, I don't think Popo Aguirre gets enough respect or attention for the type of player that he is. He's having a really good year, and it shows up on the tape.
Mm-hmm. You don't hear his name too often, that anyone talking about him.
Yeah.
So, all right, great points, great question, great answer. Charles King, welcome to the show. NCAA owes us 2 Thorpe Awards from robbing Ed and Sean. We agree with that.
I agree with that.
Gordon Taylor reposted the stream. Thank you. And thank you for reposting the stream. Guys, remember, follow FTSN Network. Remember, we're sponsored by CanesWear, The Spot, South Florida, Miami Fan Shop. We've got all of your latest Canes items. We've got a bunch of new shirts. We've got the new state champ shirt coming from Mac Apparel, really cool. It's got FSU, UF, and USF upside down. It's kind of neat. We've got lots of number 1 jerseys, lots of other great items, hats. And if you're a Florida Panther fan, who, by the way, are 2-0 now, we just had Matthew Kachuk in the store on Wednesday. Right. It was crazy, all the people there for Chucky. And I got to tell you, what a great guy. I mean, he wasn't shaking hands because he's injured. I understand that. You know, the guy is going these guys take a pounding. And I go to shake his hand at the end. I said, oh, sorry about that. He said, it's okay. With me. So that's just a great guy. I gave him a Hurricane as a gift. I gave him a Hurricane, the camo jersey. He said, what, this crap? No. He said, just kidding. It's a great. No, he goes in. No, he said, great. Hopefully he'll wear that because I know he's USA all the way. Now, I love that jersey. I don't know what people are talking about. So,
Brett, I'll tell you this. If he has a hiccup with the rehabilitation process, they're going to come after you for shaking his hand.
Good point. I will say all the Panthers have, we've done 15 signings now since the championship with just about every player. And, they all have their hand gel. These guys are hand gel guys. It's like real important.
I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow you see a reporter that, hey, I bet you it was Brett that injured Barkov.
The funny thing was he was leaving, and I told Barkov, yes, I said something about the chase. He said, we did win. I said, I know. I was like, I'm like, yes, I know. I forgot what the line was now. So anyway, well, thank you for reposting the stream, Gordon. We appreciate it. Los Mark giving us the U. Let's throw up the U. Juan Manuel, when are we going to see the freshman tight ends? Luka Gilbert, sounds like the guy from The Godfather. Luka Gilbert, Brock Schott, to elevate as a receiving threat. Alex Bauman is not doing enough in the passing game. One place where Miami needs to get better.
Yeah, I think Brock Schott brings a lot from like a standpoint of being a vertical threat as a receiver. You kind of saw that in the Bethune-Cookman game where a defender tried to pop him, and then he still kept churning downfield. It's probably the fastest of the tight ends in the room as well. Would be nice if potentially he could find some type of role along the way. I know Alex Bauman hasn't been as impressive to people as they were hoping he would be as a red zone threat. Really hasn't come together yet. He did make a couple catches, though, in that Florida State game, to his credit, though. One in particular in traffic that I was kind of surprised he came down with, considering how hard he got hit. But again, we got to take it week by week. Luka Gilbert gets a lot of praise as a blocker as well. I think Miami's blocking from their tight ends has improved compared to the first 3 games. I know that was a critique we had early on this season. I think they have improved in that regard. So we'll see. It's a long season, only 5 games through. And if you get into the postseason, you're talking about potentially 15, 16 games. So there's a lot of games left to be played.
You're talking about a third guy stepping up. I'll be going through the comments now. Charles King is asking about Trader. And I know before the season, me as a fan, I don't see them every day like Gio does. But we all thought, or I thought, Brett, that Lofton was going to be the target one guy. Correct. Now, obviously, it's Tony and Daniels and an outstanding running game. I'm just wondering, there's only one football. Is there going to be enough touches for a guy like Trader or a Lofton? Because your offense is funneling through this running charm. Like old man reference, Brett, you talk about first base, Lou Gehrig, Wally Pipp. Lau gets hurt. Charmar is amazing. Mm-hmm. Is Lau even going to get the touches? Because these 2 guys ahead of him, you're not going to take them off the field right now. They're playing great.
Yeah.
So
guys develop favorites.
Trader and Lofton, I don't know, Tony. The way Tony and CJ Daniels are playing, they're way up here right now, and they're going to get a lot of touches. So it's going to be really difficult to. Yeah, they're going to get grabs, sure, but
I think there's enough room. I think there's enough room for a tight end to emerge as tight end 1, and I think that's going to be Lofton, and he's kind of shown some of those flashes the last couple games. And I do think there's room at least for one more receiver to maybe not see the ball as much as Tony and Daniels do because of how consistent they've been, but get opportunities in games. You ask me personally, I think they need to open up the rotation a little bit. I'm not talking about, you need to take Tony and Daniels off the field. That's not what I'm saying. I think Keelan Marion has had some moments this year, but I don't think he's exactly separated himself yet. To the point that for sure he needs to be starting. I think he's a good blocker. I think he's a great vertical threat as well, but I don't think he's exactly separated himself yet that you could say that, he for sure should be starting next to the other guys when you've seen Joshua Moore explode in a game given the opportunity. People know what JoJo Trader is capable of. You saw it in the bowl game last year when he got his opportunity, when he got that start. And again, I know it's off-season stuff, but he did have a pretty good offseason. He was really good in spring. He was doing pretty well in fall until he had the ankle injury and then came back from it. Notre Dame game, he was 4, and he had 2 opportunities. One was a PI. One he probably should have fought for the ball harder. But then, he's been out ever since. And, back the last 2 games dressed. But, again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if a guy's dressed if he's not actually in a participation chart at the end of the game. So I know he has the ability from what I've seen with my own 2 eyes before. It's not an ability or football concern with me when it comes to Trader. I think it's just got to be prepared and focused. And even Mario's alluded to it too. It's just preparation leading up to the games.
No, great points, I think. It'd be amazing if Joshua Moore does get more opportunities. And both him and Malachi, true freshmen. I mean, what will people be thinking if those two, if he starts playing like he did against USF and getting an opportunity? But 100%. I did like the explosiveness. They passed it like 2 or 3 times in a row to Elijah this time, and he looked very explosive. I would like to see, since you said that he's such a great at running the ball, maybe like a fake hand and a reverse to him, because he's a big guy coming around, and his speed and his power, that could be something special.
Well, they used him in some goal line situations last year. I think you could possibly see that wrinkle at some point again.
Cool. Juan Manuel, Comic Relief. Miss Jordan Hudson and Bill are asking, is Miami nightlife and club scene hot? Bill Belichick wants to know if adult diapers are dispensable in bathrooms and high-end clubs. I don't know if anybody one of us will know.
Where does he get his material? I tell you.
I don't know. He's like, I can see him like this.
I got a response for Juan though. That depends.
That is.
That's why we keep Gio on here, Brett. You see
exactly.
Stuff like that.
Gio's the expert and the comic relief all at the same time, Mondo. Hope you have that on your bingo card.
Yes.
Fourth and forever with Colorado Kane. Welcome to the show, Colorado Kane.
Oh,
Fellas,
Colorado.
how's everyone? We are doing fantastic on another bye week at 5-0, baby. Charles King, all our teams, all our great teams were heavily penalized. That is for sure.
That's true.
That the Miami team with Randall Hill against Texas in the bowl game, the year that's what we get, like 100 penalties that game. Hassan, 113 yards in penalties. The refs always call BS calls in Miami. Let's not kid ourselves. The linemen for FSU are holding Bain and no calls, especially one in the end zone. Clearly, I mean, you can't scramble that much and have Bain and Messidor and things not being held.
That's a good point by him. Good point.
Anthony Mazzano's in the show. Hi, Gio. Hi, Anthony, Gio says. Anthony, why was there such a discrepancy in the penalties called? Florida State only had 2 penalties for 20 yards, yet they had multiple horse collars and PI during the game.
That is true. And look, I'm not trying to start a conspiracy or whatnot, but it does seem at times that Miami gets a lot more calls against them than other teams in the ACC. I'm just saying.
So if we are, maybe we're back. Maybe we're back if that's the case.
I just realized this, unless it had to do with the ABC broadcast, because I watched this game. I wasn't there in person for this particular game, but I didn't see the ACC Review Center during this game against Miami, between Miami and Florida State.
And you know
usually
what? They had that in the Virginia. Let me tell you, that was for viewers at home. That was awesome. That was really cool.
awesome.
It
That
needs
was
to
really
be a staple.
They did not have it. You're right.
And you know, we usually go after the refs, and let me tell you, the way the review guy and the refs were talking, that was it was pretty cool for the viewer at home to see that. And they did a really good job in that. That was pretty good. That was very good.
But is that only on the ACC network they do it?
Could be, because to Gio's point, yeah, they weren't on the ABC. They were not.
I mean, the game was shown on the ACC network also, but I agree. I was so impressed with that. I thought everything I thought about when they go and talk about it. I mean, everyone has given their own opinions and votes and everything like that. That was awesome.
Well, now that I think about it, I think FSU Virginia was on ESPN that Friday night, so I don't think it was on ACC network. I don't think it was, unless I'm wrong.
But this game was on ABC, correct? Or was that
yes.
on ESPN?
ABC.
So maybe that's the difference. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, if they ain't us, they hate us. We know that. Juan Manuel, is there a chance we see a Hayden low if Miami goes deep into the playoffs like January?
We'll have to see on that. However, from the standpoint of him being able to retain a red shirt, the way the ruling works is if you didn't play those 4 games during the season, but you do play in the playoffs, you'll still retain the red shirt. So, if he's good to go by that point, he can play and still retain it.
All right. Juan Manuel, can Miami get number 55 defensive tackle freshman? Get Pouch, the number 55 defensive tackle freshman. He can be an answer at defensive tackle in 26.
I'm not sure which guys he's talking about. Is he talking about Kevin Wynn from Florida State? I'm not sure.
All right. Get back to us on that, Juan Manuel. Anthony, Gio, recruiting-wise, I keep on seeing reports that it's seeming now that the number 1 team for Trent Seaborn is Oregon if he ends up committing there for 27. Who is it? For 27, who is our backup plan?
Yeah, so with Seaborn, he had visited Miami. Coach Dawson went to go see him during the previous bye week. Here's the thing. So obviously Oregon very much in the mix. South Carolina too. They've had a lot of momentum behind them as well in that recruitment, even though they're having a shaky season this year, which kind of hurts their chances there. And then Alabama is the other program in the mix too, the in-state school. When it comes to Seaborn, depending on what he does, I've alluded to this before. I've mentioned it before. I'll say it on here now as well. There is actual legs to, not saying for sure it's going to happen, but how do I say it? The realm of possibility, like it's actually a realistic thing that Neiman Lawrence, the 5-star quarterback at Northwestern right now, class of 2028 guy, could reclass down. Is that going to happen? We'll see. Is it on the table? Yes. That is an option that can be taken and has been considered. Miami hasn't pushed that, but that is an option that's being considered from his camp. So we'll see. But he loves Miami, though, and Miami loves him, and he's been basically at every home game this year for Miami. And Ohio State kind of has their eyes on other quarterbacks in his class year. That was really the big competition for Miami with him. So Miami's way out in front right now with him. They're kind of setting the bar and pace, if you will, whatever words you want to attach to that. So he's the guy I would eye if Seaborn bypasses on Miami.
Awesome. Robert, welcome to the show. Great question about Robert. Did anyone notice that FSU didn't have a single holding call against them all night against the best defensive line in the country?
It is crazy. They were holding Bain, just like clotheslining him almost at certain points of the game.
And he was still, I mean, there was a line one of the announcers said, I don't know who's going to need a breather more, the quarterback or the guys chasing him. Because they were he was running for his life on every play. And even in that 19-play drive. But you're right. I mean, how the ACC should look at that and say, hey, I mean, how can we not call one holding penalty? It's just beyond me.
Yeah.
Anthony, what the hell happened to Texas this year? Were they just overrated last year and they're not as good as people thought they were?
I don't think it's so much that they're overrated. I think it's a mixture of what Mondo mentioned earlier, that they have offensive line trouble right now. It's never easy replacing a guy like Kelvin Banks, which I'll mention even with Miami going into next year. Yes, the O-line has looked great for quite a few years now, but you are going to have to replace some guys that have played a ton of football games here, and guys like Inez Cooper and Francis Malinoa after this season. Has Miami been able to do it in the past? Yes, but you will be plugging in new guys that will become full-time starters next year. So there could be some growing pains here or there, even with that scenario. However, the other thing, Arch Manning just hasn't been as good as advertised. He really has not. I have concerns about his throwing mechanics too. They're way off. And the craziest thing about it is his family literally hosts quarterback camps. The family that he comes from, you would think that his mechanics would not be questionable.
Yep,
So
exactly.
I have questions. Possibly, is Arch dealing with an injury that may have not been reported at this point? Because how bad his mechanics look right now, it's almost unbelievable considering the background and the family that he comes from. It's hard to comprehend.
Would they be better with Quinn Ewers as the quarterback right now?
Yes, and they pushed him out on a politics thing. They wanted to push him out and move on to the next guy.
Correct. Because he could have signed with any team, which would have probably been the smart thing for him, instead of being a 6th-round draft pick. And if he would have gone to another team in college, it would have
Quinn
been
Ewers was an all Texas guy. Like he was full on Longhorns. He was in it for the long haul with that program, and they wanted to shove him out the door. But I think he had pretty good success with them. You know, sometimes people look at situations like, oh, you know, the grass would be greener the next person we bring in, and it's not always the case.
Yeah.
It always is. You're right. The fans want the new toy, and especially he's a Manning.
Well, that last name's a big deal there. That
does help. You know, it's you know, it's like Million Manning. They're very you know, he's in that same line. Giovanni, welcome to the show. Hey, Gio, remember we got another ball hawk safety in Amari Wallace, who is a natural free safety. Just wait till he gets healthy.
Yeah, Amari Wallace is very talented. He was a starter for multiple years for a Miami Central team that won several state championships. I think he's a natural fit even as like a nickel as well. He could definitely play some nickel. I know I'll share this. I had mentioned it during the offseason that doesn't look like he was coming off a serious injury that he had before his senior season at Miami Central and him missing the entire year last season. So again, he's got some guys in front of him right now, but this is what happens at big time programs. Sometimes you got to wait your turn.
What year is he in?
True freshman.
He's a true freshman, so he would play the same position as Bryce.
Yeah, both a little bit different skill sets, but Amari Wallace is a pretty good player.
Awesome. So the future is bright for our safety position. And Poizer's only in his second year?
Yeah, he's a redshirt sophomore. He has 2 more years after this.
He's been playing very well. I mean, when he got nicked up, a lot of people were concerned, myself included.
Yeah,
you see, he's been playing very well.
We talked about we talked. I'm sorry, Brett. We talked about any given week. I just took a quick peek at the score. It's Giants 34, Eagles 17.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What is going on?
I'm going to text group my cousins from New York. It's like, oh my goodness, the Giants. It's like, really?
What in the world?
All the Yankee fans are going to become Giant fans now.
So that's 2 losses in 4 days for the Eagles. Crazy.
They lost last week too, right? So 2, yeah. So
yeah, they blew up 17-point lead or 14-point lead to Denver in the fourth quarter, and now this. Crazy.
And they came back on the line. They were down 14 or 17 against the Rams, weren't they? The week before.
They haven't been playing good.
But they came back that game. Amazing.
Yeah, they should have lost that game, to be honest with you.
Yes. 5 rings. Welcome to the show. What's up with? Did I say that right? No. What's up with Artavius Jones and Cole McConaughey? Will they see the field this season, Gio?
So I spoke about Cole McConaughey earlier in the injury, who's dealing with Artavius Jones, had an injury for most of the offseason as well. He has been dressed just a little further down on the defensive tackle depth chart. So I guess when Miami has a lead or whatnot, he did play against Bethune-Cookman, got some reps in that game, but he is one of the strongest guys on the team as well, but just he's not there yet.
Jacoby, just a week ago, everybody wanted Billy gone. Very true.
That's true. College football is a week-to-week business. Look at Virginia Tech pulling off the win that they just did, considering they just had their head coach fired. And look at UCLA upsetting Penn State.
Oh,
And they just fired their head coach too. So college football is a week-to-week business. Anyone could have your card if you are not prepared.
I'm not quite sure what to say about Penn State anymore because that team is pretty stacked this year. And
I got one answer. I got one answer for that, Mondo. And you know, I've been on this for a year. Drew Aller he is not an elite quarterback, and I said it about him and Kate Klubnik over a year ago.
You have been saying that. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, you got College Game Day there, and granted, Oregon is an outstanding program. We know that. That's a game like people were saying. You got Game Day there. You came back at the end. I get it, but you were outplayed for most of the game and you lose. Then you go to UCLA, who was winless. They didn't just lose they were talking about maybe firing the coach. They're carrying the coach off of his shoulders like he won the Super Bowl. I mean, you lose to UCLA.
That was the play caller.
I mean, I'm sorry, my bad. But what I can't say, James Frank, I don't know, Penn State, that's a major flop. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, UCLA had sunshine from remember the Titans calling the offensive plays last week against Penn State.
I mean, that is a bad loss. When you lose to sadly, that's something we've done in the past, and hopefully we'll never see that again. But that is a bad loss. I mean, these people I'm seeing are saying, how is UCLA 0-4? I mean, maybe Penn State's not that good. I mean,
I gotta say, I didn't expect the Sunshine reference tonight. That's a great movie. We got ourselves a quarterback.
Charles King, Jamie French has one catch for 6 yards. Any Florida kid that goes to Texas is a buffoon.
Yeah, well, Texas has talented receivers. They have another freshman that's actually playing over Jamie right now, Parker Livingston, the 6'4" receiver that's done pretty well for them. The other thing, though, they do have one freshman, a defensive back from the state of Florida, who is having a pretty decent season in Grayson Littleton. But, yeah, just is what it is.
One manual, unfortunately, with Mario, we go on one step at a time to 5-7, to 7-5, to 10-3, to ACC title game. Winning title game and playoff win is above my expectations for Mario.
Guess you just got to see. Got to let the season play out.
You know, the coaches, here's one thing, and I agree, I'm a critic of Mario too, but you know what? We say this about coaches until they win. I mean, the Ohio State coach last year, they said they'd fire him if he would have lost in the playoffs early. Instead, he's a national champion. So until you win, then you can go ahead and you become a new guy.
I've said it before, and the Colts, when they had talking about the Mannings, Peyton Manning, everybody would say, and probably maybe me included, Tony Dungy's too much of a nice guy. They'll never win it all. Mm-hmm. They won one. You never heard that again about Tony Dungy being too nice. So I think you win it all. That's it. Or you win big. You won't hear those critiques anymore.
Exactly. Jimmy obviously followed Schnellenberger. He had the season that fell apart in 84. 85, we played Tennessee. We would have won. We'd probably be national champions. 86, we know we had the greatest team possibly ever. We lost to Penn State. Yeah. They were ready to fire Jimmy after that. Yeah, Tadfoot, because you know what, with the fatigue, they were ready to get rid of him, and they kept him, and it was a good thing they did.
What about Butch Davis? They wanted Butch Davis gone.
Yeah, they flew the plane exactly.
Flew the plane for him.
Don't tell me the fans are ever wrong. That Mondo, I can't believe that.
I'll say this to put on this question like a cap on it. There are only 3 head coaches right now in college football that have ever won a national championship.
Really?
Those names, and one of them was just
3.
this past year. Ryan Day, Kirby Smart, Dabo Sweeney. Those are the only 3 active head coaches in football that have won a national championship.
I did not know that.
Clemson has mighty struggles right now. So really you only have 2 coaches that are still sort of in that hunt this year for a national title.
Well, until Ryan Day won one,
there's going to be There's going to be other coaches that will win a national title in these upcoming years. I'm being serious.
Yeah, last year in the people forget in the regular season finale, at home they lost to Michigan. They wanted him fired. They wanted him fired the next morning.
He's lost 3 out of 4 to Michigan.
Yeah,
they wanted him. They wanted him fired the next day.
Exactly, the fans wanted him done. And Kirby's smart. I know he's won, but he's got a lot of critics the way he coaches as well. He's just had so much talent on that team. So talent wins. I mean, look at Larry Coker. Would we consider Larry Coker? I know he's in the Canes Hall of Fame, but we consider him one of the great coaches of all time? Or he had one of the greatest teams of all time?
I mean,
that's quite the debate.
Barry Switzer coming over to the Cowboys. Now, he was a great quarterback coach in college, but when Barry Switzer came and he took that Cowboy team, which was all Jimmy's players. Now, granted, he directed them, but that team was on autopilot.
A guy that's turned it around, and he was getting, ripped after the opener was the Alabama coach DeBoer. They got smashed by FSU, and they've really turned it around. They go to Georgia, and don't laugh, but Vanderbilt's a good team. They beat Vanderbilt pretty good. So Alabama right now is in the playoff discussion, and he's really flipped the script on himself because the pressure was on him, or is still on him.
Like I said, college football is a week to week.
Totally. What isn't he? Did they say he's 8-1 or 9-1 against top 10 teams? DeBoer?
I don't know. After that opener, there was the people were starting to wonder, like, is this the guy for Alabama? But yeah, he's really flipped the script fast.
Absolutely, flipped the script. I like it. Jacoby, our DB coaches are not being talked about enough.
Yeah, the work that has been done with the safeties, how well they look. I mean, it's night and day from the safety play Miami had last year. You have 3 guys that are capable of making game-changing plays between Zachariah Poyser, Jacoby Thomas, and Bryce Fitzgerald in that safety room right now. And even Dylan Day killing it on special teams too. He deserves a shout-out. Which, by the way, I mean, it's sad what football's become, because what was Dylan Day supposed to do as a gunner on that punt return? And smash the guy in front of him who decided to not call a fair catch. How is he defenseless if he chose to not wave it off?
That was
he hit him with his helmet. He did hit him with his helmet on that. And that turned the game around. Because that was the beginning of that 19-play drive, wasn't it?
Yes, but here's my thing, though, with targeting, especially in football now, especially college football. I think it's a little too drastic to eject the player.
Yeah, it's
one targeting call that you got to miss an entire game, or if it happens in a second half of a game, you miss the beginning of the next game.
Yeah, that's a little harsh.
It's too much. I think they need to scale that back and have a discussion on that. The other thing too is it's kind of hard at times to determine what targeting is, and the reason why I say this. Sometimes there's just what I like to call a natural football movement, that a guy gets low coming out of a pile. And if you're coming in to make the tackle and a guy makes a sudden movement and then you get head-to-head contact, how do you call that targeting? Like, it's like, for example, the perfect one I'll say, Ahmad Moten against Georgia Tech last year. Blew up the running back in the backfield.
Yeah.
The running back ducked his head in.
What are you going to do?
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
You're supposed to jerk your neck to the side and then, It is what
No,
it is.
I totally am on. I guess I'm on board with punishing people for mistakes. But what was it we played earlier? That was a Bethune that first quarter Bassane hit somebody. He's out for the game. Like I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
that's
the
too harsh.
game.
Exactly.
I think give the team a flag on the first one. If a player commits it a second time, then fine. You want to toss them out of the game, fine.
Yeah.
But an accident can happen. A mistake can happen. It's
Right.
football. Guys
Yeah,
sometimes get low and they duck their head or a movement. Like you're talking about guys that are going 20-something miles per hour at each other. Eventually,
Exactly.
something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, we're playing right now. So you're telling me the kid can't play a half next week? It's stupid.
Mhm.
That's like ridiculous. It's crazy.
Do you think it would be better if they had two different types of it, like running to the kicker and roughing the kicker, if they had like a regular incidental target with a regular penalty, and if a guy is headhunting, they go ahead and toss the guy out of the game for that?
I think that would be better because I think there's just been accidental cases or just natural football, what I call a natural football move that a running back gets low coming out of a pile. They teach you that. Lower your center of gravity because it's harder to bring someone down when you do that. I absolutely do think so that they need to reevaluate that rule.
And the thing is, when they go to the review and they spend 5 minutes looking at it, if you can't determine it in one split second, then it's not targeting.
Yeah,
it's like let's look at every angle and see what happened, and that's just too much. Charles King, AB played himself out.
Antonio Brown of the Hall of Fame.
I
can see that.
Yes, absolutely. It's the wealth and income equality, stupid. He's welcome to the show. He said, Eli is not, NOT, a Hall of Famer. Stop with it. The defense won those Super Bowls.
They did have good defenses.
Yeah, good defenses, but I do believe that Eli was in the playoffs in both of those seasons. He was lights out and phenomenal. And I'm not a Giant fan at all. My dad was, but I'm not a Giant fan. And but if you look at Eli's stats for those two playoff runs, and that Super Bowl,
he played well.
He played well. He brought him back. So it's I think Super Bowls are everything. And granted, Dan Marino's in the Hall of Fame. His records were so great, but he never won a Super Bowl. That's different. Anthony, but a lot of Giants fans say he's a comedy of errors when he caught them more games when he lost them more games than he cost them more games than he actually won, even though they got 2 Super Bowls with him. Yeah, fans, I think, are always, always able to knock the quarterback. Especially New York fans are pretty tough. They think fans down here, New York fans are very tough.
I think this year's Hall of Fame class is going to be loaded. They got Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees, and this year's is crazy. It's a lot of first ballot.
Talk about bad quarterback. Drew Brees, his first 3 seasons was terrible for San Diego. Definitely his first 2 seasons. He was awful enough that they had to draft the guy at the top of first pick in the draft, which they drafted Eli Manning. But they had to call his name and then get Phillip Rivers. He never won anything. Do you think Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer?
I wasn't going to bring him up. He had a very solid career. I don't know about Hall of Fame, but he's a very good player. I mean,
he definitely did. He was no Dan Fouts, though.
So Drew Brees, you bring up Drew Brees. Interesting. The coach was Sean Payton. Kid Nix can play for Denver. I didn't think Nix was going to be a good pro like that.
Yeah, no.
Nix,
I liked him. I wanted him when he was coming out.
Nix can sling it. Nix can play. He can throw.
Absolutely. I mean, Drew Brees, if he comes to the Dolphins, I think college and the pros are completely different because they would have got him the Dolphins. I think Nick Saban stays in Miami as the coach of the Dolphins. He never goes to Alabama because he'd have his quarterback, which you have to have. He would have been able to compete with Bill Belichick, and in Alabama would now have dominated college football. History would have changed.
What's that doctor's name, Britt?
Was that James Andrews?
No, wasn't it the doctor that told Saban not to get him?
Yeah, he said, don't get him.
Yeah.
He told Saban still supposedly wanted him, but the Dolphins, they who knows? Saban did pretty well for himself. The Dolphins have been terrible ever since. Do you feel that this Cell TV, welcome to the show. Do you feel that this offense needs to develop a third pass catcher in the next couple of weeks?
I do think so.
Yes, Gio has been harping on that. Good point, Cell TV. Jacoby, can Keelan Marion third pass catcher or Elijah Lofton?
I say Lofton, man. Lofton. Elijah Lofton, and again, I'm going to repeat it. He was, in my mind, and I'm sure the mind of many fans out there, going to be the number one option.
Totally.
Until now, we see we got two monsters in Daniels and Tony. But it'd be nice to see him get more incorporated. But as I said earlier, we already see what the majority of the touches are going to be. It's going to be the two-headed running back monster, maybe three, and those two stud receivers.
I'd like to see Joshua Moore get, which you mentioned as well, Gio, get more action. Gio believes he can be the other starter over Keelan, correct?
Yeah,
He looks the part. The height, he looks the part. I'll say that.
Now, Keelan is the lead returner, isn't he?
yes, on kick returns. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Gio,
Lofton
do you think they put Marion in there as like a veteran stabilizing presence type? Do you think why
Yeah, well,
he gets a lot of?
he's a good blocker. He's caught the ball well too.
Made some good catches.
It's not like he's had a drop problem. I think Miami needs a little bit of juice in terms of a third guy, whether it's him, whether it's Josh Moore, or whether it's JoJo Trader. Whichever of those guys can get it done and provide sparks. They don't have to be as consistent as a Tony or Daniels, but they do need to bring something to the table, whether it's 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 catches in a game. Getting in the end zone is a big thing too. Points is the name of the game. That's how you win all games. So I think if one of those guys can get that done, I think that's who they should lean towards.
I mean, Moore can obviously outleap people also with his big height and wingspan. That they could just toss it up to him. Same with Lofton for that matter. How tall is Keelan Marion?
Keelan Marion's about, I believe, 6 foot, 5'11", around that range.
He's 5 inches shorter than. That's a big difference when you're throwing the ball up in the end zone. Cell TV, Lofton has the potential to become that, but he needs higher usage rate.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
E. Whitty, what's up, Gio? How do you feel about Lenke, Tompkins, and Pouncey?
I like Lakai Tompkins as a prospect. Miami's still kind of deliberating on whether they like him on defense or offense. If it's offense, it's as a running back. If it's defense, there's discussions on whether he's an outside linebacker or potentially a pass rusher. That still hasn't been quite determined yet. But he loves Miami. I've mentioned for about a month and a half now, even over on the Discord, about him and how much Miami is pursuing him. He visited for the Notre Dame game. He will be back for another visit again. I believe he's coming back for the Syracuse game. I got to double check in with that. I'm going to reach out to him again. But Miami's got a real shot at flipping him. Colorado very much in it there too, but Miami is the biggest threat to pulling him away from his Louisville commitment. And then on Pouncey, though, yes, related to the Pouncey twin brothers that played at Florida, he's committed to Notre Dame. Miami has maintained contact with him. They did try to get him in for the Florida game, from what I understand. That didn't happen, but a potential return visit could be coming up soon. So we'll see. That's another target at safety, along with guys like Justice Fitzpatrick that they're looking at, Tyreek Green. They've tried making some contact with Blake Stewart as well from Woodward Academy in the state of Georgia. Just a couple of names to throw out there at safety. And one guy that they're still evaluating, but they haven't gone full on with yet. But Tadarius Hughes, local safety out of Miami Northwestern.
Awesome. Charles, imagine having to convince a Miami kid to stay. F that just got Milan Paris. Just go after Milan Paris.
He's a 6'5" receiver that runs a 4.37 40-yard dash. He'll be visiting Miami next week. Oklahoma's in it, Oregon as well, Auburn. From what I understand, Texas A&M is trying to get involved as well. He just decommitted from Iowa State, but Miami's been on him the longest of his new top group now. So we'll see.
Is he 26 or 27?
2026.
All right.
6'5", 437.
Wow, that's crazy.
I saw Brett's reaction when Gio said that.
That's phenomenal. Wow. And now that we know freshmen can play, RQ305, welcome to the show. New transfer portal rules make things harder for playoff teams. How do you feel about that, Gio?
I agree. Because you could potentially lose some guys while you're trying to make a late season run. Some guys that may be a second team guy or rotation guy, they feel that maybe they should go somewhere else and become the guy or a starter at another program. That happens a lot. So it's tough, but this is college football and the way it is right now. I absolutely believe that that window should be after the national championship. I think you got to give a little leeway to the coaches. I mean, it's brutal what they have to deal with because right before Christmas, you have the early signing day period. And then a week and a half later begins the transfer portal period now, too. So it's a lot back to back.
Do these
Didn't
coaches
I
sleep?
believe last year before the playoffs?
I believe somebody did.
The
Yeah,
Penn
there was
State
a-
quarterback backup. Didn't he leave
there was a-
before the playoffs?
Yeah, that's wild.
Where's he now?
I don't even know now. Yeah.
Why would anybody want to give? I understand their life. You got a chance at a national championship. Don't you want to be just be part of that experience? Do you remember that used to matter to somebody?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, I've spoken about it with some of the guys that played on the 1980 teams and the early 1990s teams. And they all said that, man, if the transfer portal was around back then, like some of us, yeah, like we may have jumped at the opportunity to go somewhere else, but it was never a thought in our minds back then that, I was going to go transfer to another program just because I'm not playing enough yet. Like it was all about the competition back then and wanting to get better and wanting to make your way onto the field.
Yeah, Willis McGahee said that when he came over to a signing a few weeks ago. He said that a lot of guys would not have been on Miami and stayed on Miami and backed up if there was a portal.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And there was money and everything.
I don't think you'll ever see anything like that 2001 Miami team again. That collection of just NFL talent across that roster. I just think that's going to be something that will be cemented in history. I'd be shocked if you ever see anything like that again. That 17 first-round draft picks on one roster, that's crazy. Like the assemblement of that type of talent, just the evaluation there. Butch Davis, probably one of the greatest evaluators of all time of talent. So, I just think I don't know if that'll ever be topped. I don't think it will be. At least with transfer portal era now, I just don't think so.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, even that LSU team, that was a beastly team with those receivers and everyone. I mean, those super teams may not be around anymore.
Yeah, well, to give you a great example, I heard about this through a couple guys that played on the early 2000s teams. Even Willis McGahee was thinking of transferring at one point from Miami. And he didn't end up doing it, but he was thinking about it from what I was told. So, I mean, he kind of had to wait his turn too. He was behind Portis and James Jackson. And you had Frank Gore who came in. And from what I understand, some of the stories I've been told is that Clinton Portis, after he'd make a big play or would have a great game, he would go up to guys like McGahee or Gore and say, hey, you saw that run that Frank had today? Yeah, Willis, you're number 3 now. Or he'd go up to Frank Gore and tell him, yeah, you saw what Willis did today? Yeah, no, he said, you're number 3 now, bro. How are you going to play?
No, and Willis only started in 01 because Frank got hurt.
Yeah.
So Frank would have been the lead back. I mean, but crazy how that goes. In 02, that was 02, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that team, if Frank would have stayed healthy, those two guys together would have been a dynamic duo.
Absolutely.
Juan Manuel, Jaden Rashada, Nico, Archie, Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning, even UCLA with Dante Moore is not a business sense savvy to pay a 5-star high school quarterback. Let's get that call. Let's get that freshman QB.
Yeah, he's talking about Ron Q Sagapalu out of California with the Golden Bears. Really talented freshman. There's quite a few talented quarterbacks around the country right now that are young quarterbacks. But yeah, it's the name of the game now. You don't want to overpay a kid coming out of the high school ranks at quarterback right now. You're mortgaging the whole future.
Correct. Giovanni, I prefer Nick Linear, the wide receiver from Northwestern, over Calvin Russell.
Yeah, but Lanier's still in the 2027 class. Yes, there's been some consideration for him to possibly reclass down to 2026, but until that happens, it's just is what it is.
Porch Kane, what's up with Malik Bryant?
He's on the team. He's there, and he's played in a couple games, but just Marquise Lightfoot had a really good offseason. Armando Blunt really stepped up. It's just I mentioned this to some people the other day. Like, I hope fans, like, I'm not saying that Malik Bryant's going to leave, but hope fans take it a little easy on some of these guys that came in from Mario's first couple classes and understand the aspect that in college football, you recruit to get better and potentially replace the guy that you already have out there playing. You want to continuously get better. And this happens at a lot of big-time programs, that some guy that may have been playing the year before may play less the next year because you may get better talent. And it just – it's name of the game. It's what happens.
Carl, let's get Pickett more involved.
Yeah, he actually played a couple snaps against Florida State.
Anthony Gio really over Michael Vick. Who'd you pick there? I missed that one.
Sure.
All right, Anthony, you can finish that comment up if you want. Carl P., why won't anyone give us a real explanation of what's happening with JoJo? What did he do?
I can't go into full detail on it. I did mention something about it in the Discord weeks ago, and just had some conversations with some people, whatever, and it's just better to just not discuss it anymore. It is what it is. He just has to prepare and get back on the field. That's all it is.
All right. Jeremiah Smith Jr. All right, look at that. We got Miami fans up here in Omaha, Nebraska. Go Canes. Thank you, Jeremiah. I know we do. I do have a lot of fans that come into the store from Nebraska. Gio Kane, they say that we shut it down in the fourth quarter, but all those penalties killed a lot of our drives and momentum. Totally 100% agree. Lord Bakington, welcome to the show. Do you all think Jacoby Thomas, our second best player on defense next to Bain, is the secondary has been tremendous?
I think you can make a case between him or Akeem Mesidor.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Poyser, I thought, is playing really well. Also, there's a lot of guys. It's obviously a group effort, but you're right. Those three guys. Fourth and forever, Colorado Cane. I'm not sure Carson leaves Georgia if he has the production last year. There's a lot of offensive issues last year at Georgia.
Yeah, the O-line, the receivers leading the country in drops and drop yardage, and just not seeing eye to eye with the OC at Georgia. Todd Monken was his guy that Carson Beck loved him, and Todd Monken was the guy who gave the stamp of approval to Miami to go after Carson Beck in the transfer portal. So he didn't really wasn't a lot of fanship there for Mike Bobo.
Charles King is voting for JoJo, I guess is that third target. Colorado Cane, I've been waiting 20 plus years for this excitement around the Canes.
I think we all
agree. I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been a fan forever, but been doing this for 15 years at CanesWear, and this is definitely the most exciting team we've had, even though 2017 was a pretty nice run. Vincent McKay, Jordan needs to hit the hole faster, or just hit the hole. Dylan Day needs more snaps. Jit can hit. That's from Jonathan Crumbly. Lord Bakington, I'm looking for JoJo to break into some playing time. He is going to make an impact. Charles King, true Popo been punishing dudes. Yes, Lord Bakington, I want to see more young guys at DT. I would like to be 4 to 5 deep. Lord Bakington, thank you for sharing and subscribing. Anthony, Brent, I have comments in the other channel. Anthony, I appreciate that, but this is the only channel I can see. So if you want to take those comments and put them over here, can you see them, Gio? Any other comments? Or
these are the only ones I could see.
Okay, these are the only ones I can see, Anthony, so feel free to send them over here. Why have we seen Malik Bryant, Pickett? Is there a chance Hayden Lowe comes back in January? Didn't he ask that before, Juan Manuel? For a deep playoff run, he is that valuable. He's really into Hayden Lowe coming back. Are we not seeing these guys, Malik Bryant, Pickett, or we're just not seeing them as much is the question?
As much. They have played, though. But this is a great question for you, Brett, actually. Mohammed Hussein shared here. Brett, do we have back-to-back state champ shirts?
We have two versions. We have a Canes Country, a dominant, and we have a new state champ shirt that says back to back on it. We both have. They're both online. We'll have them both in the store tomorrow. Matthew Gittleman says, "Thank you, Matthew. You're very welcome, Matthew. It's good when the family comes out and supports the show. Thank you, Matthew." Charles King, Pickett has played. He recorded a sack.
Yeah, he did a few games ago.
Okay. Once Jalen Taylor puts his full attention on Pickett, it's over, according to Charles King. Charles is a huge Charles Pickett fan. What do you think about Jason Taylor's performance this year?
Great, honestly. He has the best duo of pass rushers in the country with Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor. The stats back that up. The defensive tackles have played very well. Ahmad Moten has taken the next step. David Blay makes some splash plays as a nose tackle in the defense. And Justin Scott has even filled in, making some plays when he comes in on rotation. Marquise Lightfoot took a big step from last year. I'm excited to see what he does going forward after guys like Bain and Mesidor move on when he gets his opportunity to be in the lineup. Armando Blunt, very physical, violent hands, as I've said before. Shout out to him, moonlighting at defensive tackle too at times. You know, that's a big key. I mentioned it all offseason. They needed one guy capable of doing that to help that defensive tackle room, and he's stepped in and done a really good job.
Awesome. Anthony, Gio, I have a few comments on the other channel. So Gio can't see those now, Anthony, so please feel free to put those comments here where we can see them. Juan Manuel, Texas having a crappy year and getting worse as they will lose the Red River rivalry and Sark seat. Is the Sark seat getting hot? Could Cooper be having second thoughts? Texas O-line is bad, which I think Mondo said before, correct?
Yeah, so Texas and getting worse as they lose the Red River and Sark. Steve Sarkisian's seat definitely could get hot if they lose that game to Oklahoma. I don't think many people thought that Texas could possibly lose to Oklahoma entering this season, but Oklahoma's got a pretty good quarterback in John Mateer, who kind of flirted with Miami a little bit before Miami got Carson Beck. But we'll see. And in terms of Derek Cooper having second thoughts, well, like I shared about a month ago, that Mario Cristobal doesn't care what the fans think or comments that Derek Cooper has said in the past that he needs to see more from Miami. He's taken a personal approach to recruiting Derek Cooper, the 5-star running back out of Chaminade-Madonna Prep in Hollywood, Florida. And he was at his game last week. There's a very personal approach and touch there to that recruitment, and they're not going to let up until signing day.
Charles, all this season is missing some JoJo. Juan Manuel, free JoJo. Mondo, everybody wants to see JoJo. I mean, I just want to see whoever's the hottest guys out there. I'd love to see JoJo, but whoever's playing top ball for the Canes, I want to say.
I don't care who it is, as long as, you know, that they get the job done.
Exactly. Free JoJo. Everybody wants JoJo. Do we have an All-American candidate in Malachi, do you guys think, right now? Or, I know he's freshman All-American candidate. If he continues his pace, could he be an All-American wide receiver?
Well, I know, I believe the All-American teams, they do 3 sets. They have their first, second, and third team. He's in that discussion. I mean, there's other slot receivers in the country, like a guy like Mekhi Lemon. I know there's like one more that's playing pretty well too, but Malachi Toney's up there in the discussion for best slot receiver in the country. He's definitely one of the top 3 right now. Wait, Mondo, you're muted.
Mondo, can you hear us?
There you go. It's unmuted. Wait, I can't hear him now. That's weird.
Mondo. Okay. Try to turn that mute. Turn it on the other way, Mondo. Oh, we lost Mondo. Okay.
I'll bring him back in when we come
in. Lord begging the free JoJo. Why haven't we thrown screens to Ray?
Well, Ray hasn't gotten any snaps the last 2 games, and I know it's raised some questions for people if He's potentially preserving a red shirt. We shall see. He's not on kickoff returns anymore either. So kind of
Ray, Jojo. If you got a double name, you're in trouble this year.
Yeah.
Mondo, you back?
Am I alive? Am I here?
You are alive, Mondo. We're going to do sign language with you.
We look like mimes there for a second.
Exactly. That was very good. You did a very good job. Did you have something to add there, Mondo?
Damn, you just threw me off. What were you? Oh, as far as Malachi, I even saw a tweet from Des Bryant,
Really?
former Cowboys receiver. Yeah, he retweeted something to this Malachi kid is a monster, or something to that effect. So yeah, the game being on a Saturday night on ABC, a lot of people saw it that probably wouldn't see it in a regular, let's say, a noon game on, ESPN, whatever it is. But yeah, that was an eye-opening performance that kid had. So to your question, yeah, now he's on the national stage, national discussion now. Yes.
And he had what, a 50-yarder taken away from him by
another one taken away. Yes.
I mean, that was just a play that was just a timing play that the kid just won illegal movement or something like that. He was heading upfield.
Yeah, and it's great to hear.
It has nothing to do with the play.
It's great to hear Mario say about him, like he's the first guy that arrives to the practice field, the last guy to leave. That's pretty rare for a kid that age to.
Exactly.
He says he
know that. Yeah. When they were 4-2. Their quarterback got hurt, and Malachi took over quarterback and led them to the state title.
Yes, he said that. Mario said this week that yes, that happened, and that Malachi was a monster at quarterback. Yes,
he beat Darion Coleman in a head-to-head matchup in the state championship.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he was 15 for 15. They said. Was he throwing real passes or just screens?
Yeah.
I mean,
throwing passes downfield too. Yes.
Wow, 15 for 15, and the guy's a phenom.
Well, he played quarterback in Little League as well. He has a great understanding for the game.
Holy mackerel! So maybe we see a reverse and a throw with him. Who knows what we can?
I would not be surprised.
Awesome! I didn't realize that.
Me neither.
Let's see. We need a geocam. We need everyone right now to really lock in. Bane have to take some plays off so he can stay fresh for the long haul. Are we seeing him getting any rest in these games?
I don't think he wants to take plays.
No. He doesn't want to take up plays.
Did you see his reaction after the game ended? He looked pissed.
Mm-hmm. That the game was over?
No, I didn't see that. He did good. I'm glad to hear that.
There's a picture rolling around on social media that it was Bane and it has a scoreboard under it, and it's from the actual broadcast. And you could tell from his face that he was pissed. And I could tell that he really wanted to bring down Castellanos, and it just didn't work out in that aspect. But his play also helped out other guys on the team. He was able to make it happen where Mesidor got to him twice, where Jacoby Thomas was able to break free to get after him. Like Bane, it's not only what like the stat sheet shows, like it's the film too, like what he opens up for other guys on the defense.
Yeah, and to Gio Kane's question, then that's why you can't really get him off the field, because he opens it up for everybody else. You probably got two linemen that are worried about him every single play. He's going to open up, opportunities for others on that D line.
At one play that Castellanos went ahead and he went. He was going to go to the left, and Bane was standing right there.
He's like right there. Yeah.
And he said, "Uh-oh." That was so amazing that he got there so fast. That's phenomenal. Let's see. Scott, Thomas, Fitzgerald, and Poyser. We have 4 safeties on this team, orange and green. Yes, this team is solid. We're worried about the safeties too. And they're all transfers, right? Except for Fitzgerald, who's a freshman.
Except for Fitzgerald, yeah.
Yes, great point, orange and green. Juan Manuel Dawson doesn't know how to use fast guys in space with Ray, Tank Dell. Tank Dell, maybe he forgot. Did he have Tank Dell?
He did have Tank Dell.
All right.
He had him at Houston.
James Jones, thank you for reposting the stream. Lord Bakington, we can use Ray as a gadget guy. Absolutely, we can. Good evening, family. Kane Show, welcome to the show. How many teams have 4 sub safeties like we have? Orange and Green asks.
Not many.
Mm-hmm. All right, and we got that one guy, Arterius, or who is it that's injured? He's a freshman. You said he's solid too.
Amari Wallace, yeah.
Juan Manuel, people forget about Dylan Upshaw too. When he was given a chance, he flashed.
Dylan Upshaw, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Go Canes. Chris Gons. Go Canes. Guys, so far a special season. I think going to be a really special season, all said and done. We definitely hope so.
Yeah, I think the Canes Jones was a few moments ago. I think he had a pretty good space before the FSU game. I think Gio was on there also. That was a pretty good.
I know.
preview
I
of the
tried.
FSU game.
He sent me the link and I didn't see it after. I have to see.
No,
my,
it was
well,
really
I'd like
good.
to be
I
on the
listened. I listened for quite a bit. It was pretty.
I will
good.
try to be on that. Not that you guys need me, but just for comedy relief and talking gibberish. Colorado Kane, Jordan and Bill are looking for a high senior living community in Coral Gables.
Colorado, my guy, Colorado.
Absolutely. So far, year 4 of Mario's best and most complete team, and this 2025 team is only going to get better and better.
Absolutely.
We hope so. If we play every game like we do coming out of the third quarter through the third quarter, we're going to be awesome.
I can't wait for next Friday. I mean, this scheduling is so weird. This 2 buys in 3 weeks is the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life.
You're absolutely correct. Fourth, Colorado Kane, Trent Seaborn is a Colorado boy. Interesting.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
You stumped Gio and Mondo. Great job, Colorado Kane. Canes Cats 5, fire me up. You can read the next one since I just lost my place, Gio.
He said, fire me up. We're going to be nasty, Mondo.
Miami he is hyped. He is hyped.
Is putting everyone on notice this season. Number 1, we want all the smoke.
I hope so.
Says he wants the smoke.
Who wants the smoke?
So. That's Gio's show, man. Smoke? That's Gio's copyright. Come on now. Yeah, baseball will be here in a couple months. It'll be here before you know it. We'll see.
Exactly. You can get the next one too, Gio. I lost place for a second.
Juan Manuel said, can Miami get Kellen Wiley contributing as a pass rusher to get him to see the field? He could definitely rush the passer, but he's playing on special teams and whatnot. So I think he's someone that you could see in the back half of the year potentially see more snaps. He definitely has the ability. Chris Gons, guys, I think this team has a lot of NFL prospects on the 2025 Miami team. We shall see. I will say, though, one guy that's not getting enough respect, Carson Beck.
He's not even in the first round in all these mock drafts.
I've seen some mocks that he's not on there, and I'm like, okay, there's going to be a lot of people eating crow.
Exactly. He's not a guy that throws a long ball like that, and he's not on the first round at all. That's crazy.
Canes Cats Heat says the deepest, the most physical, the hardest working team in the land. LSU, UF, Tennessee, Texas. We want the smoke. He's talking about Miami's baseball team this year with those teams.
Right.
Baseball team, they had a really strong ending to last year. Hats off to them because it looked like disaster midway through, and they found their footing.
Mm-hmm. Got to feel good for JD.
Canes Jones, if they had started calling those holdings from FSU on our defense, we would still be playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a good line. That's fun.
Charles King said Joel Irvin will start day 1 at left tackle, calling it right now. Wow. That's a bold prediction.
Mm-hmm.
They're super high on Joel Irvin, but we shall see. Canes Cats Heat. JD's the GOAT. Laz the GOAT. Our whole staff is GOATs. We are working.
I think he likes the baseball team. What do you think?
He is. He's.
I know he does. He loves it.
He loves.
There's no one, at least from what I've seen, like in Miami's fan base, I don't know anyone as passionate about the baseball program and follows it so diligently like Canes Cats Heat does.
Well, him and also Eric Marrero. This guy, he could tell you the recruiting of like.
What if I told you?
It's crazy.
What if I told you that they're the same guy?
Are they really?
Hold on. Whoa.
It's so funny.
Oh, shit.
I never realized that. Okay.
I didn't mean to wake up my neighbors. I'm sorry, everybody.
That is funny. Okay.
Yeah, Eric's a great guy. I mean, die-hard baseball.
Mondo. The classic. Him and Eric Murrow are the two biggest fans.
Yeah. and then Gio, I can just see Eric texting him now. How could you say it was me?
He used to use his real name on things. I don't know.
Yeah. No, he could tell you the number 1 center field recruit in like Missouri right now. I'm like, I have no idea.
No, there is no one that is on top of that. Like, at least from what I've seen, like Eric, he knows it like the back of his hand. Honestly, like
Yeah,
If baseball coverage got more love as it deserves, like
it should. Yeah.
like this guy could be. I'm serious. He could be
No,
employed
yeah.
full
No.
time
Oh,
coverage.
I'll vouch for him. There ain't no doubt about that. I agree with that.
That's awesome.
We got a comment here: Jacoby Thomas or Cam Kinchins. Who are you taking? I think both different types of players. I think Jacoby Thomas is more of a physical presence than Cam was, even though Cam was a pretty good tackler, solid, sound tackler. Cam just had incredible range, though, that he played with. Just the instincts that he had on the back end. I know sometimes he would freelance a little here and there. Some people had their complaints with that, but Cam was a really, really great talent, honestly.
And he's playing in the NFL right now.
Yeah, he's having success in the NFL, too. It's showing up on Sundays.
Jacoby's bigger, right?
Yes, Cam's about 5'11", Jacoby's about 6'2", and up. Zach Minger, 4,300, International Beer and Pizza Day. I feel like every time we get on, there's an international day for something.
Yes, is it Zach that brings it up? Is someone brings it up every time? There is someone that brings up the day.
But is that today or in 9 minutes tomorrow? When is that? Because
I think it's today. 9 minutes
Canes for Life.
We have the latest show. We take you through midnight.
Canes for Life said, "What's up, everyone?" Chris Guns. Wait till we get JoJo Trader on the field. Canes for Life. Miami's running the show this year. Go Canes. Got a comment that says, "I think JoJo transfers. We will see. There's a lot of season left to play. A lot of season left to play." Carl King. Juan Manuel said, "Quinn Ewers may not be the sharpest tool in the drawer. 6th round and no guarantee $1 million out of Notre Dame. Think Ewers was good in math in kindergarten?" Well, it's not only that. Juan Manuel, here's the thing with Ewers. He was so loyal and diehard to Texas. I mean, you're talking about a kid.
Yeah.
He willingly took the money up front from Ohio State, knowing that he really wanted to play at Texas. He ended up redshirting at Ohio State and said, "All right, I'm out of here. I got my bag. I'm going back home."
Nice.
He went back to Texas. He put in his time and effort with Texas, and politics and everything else that was going on. They pushed him out of the building. He was diehard to the end to the point that it was all or nothing for him. It was either Texas or I'm moving on. That was his approach.
I never thought of that. But he did get a lot of money from Ohio State, right? And then he transferred.
Yeah, a lot.
He was one of the problems with the portal.
Yeah.
Or not the NIL, I mean.
Juan Manuel said, "Yes, Gio, tell us about Miami's O-line 26 recruiting haul, especially Joel Irvin, the left tackle, and Jackson Cantwell." Jackson Cantwell is a freak show, an absolute freak show of an athlete. Both of his parents are former Olympians. Best tackle in the country, arguably best prospect in the country, too, depending on which recruiting service you look at. Joel Irvin was a diamond in the rough they found out of Fort Myers, who's now become a blue chip prospect.
Really?
Moves like a tight end out on the perimeter. Just really impressive feat. Ben Congdon, a wrestler, was a tackle out of the Ohio area. Miami feels that they got a steal with that one. They love J.J. Sparks and Reese Woodrow as inside offensive linemen, potentially center or guard position for those two guys. Cannon Pickett, brother of Booker Pickett, also the son of Booker Pickett Sr., who played for Miami in the 90s as well. Legacy ties there. And they're still talking with a couple other guys as well. They hasn't exactly finished up yet. You know, they've had some they've had some communication with Brett Koloje. They've been speaking with Grant Wise again recently as well, who's Ty Wise's son, committed to Clemson. Miami's kind of circled the wagon there again. We'll see if they could get him back down for a visit. But the ties are still very strong there, and Miami's going to try to work that. So, yeah, it may not be done yet for that offensive line group, and it could definitely rival and potentially be better than the first group Mario Cristobal brought in when he brought in Francis Mauigoa and all the other kids. Charles King said Arch Manning is worse than all of them. Anthony Monsanto, Gio, do you have any updates on Tank Jones and Alistair Vallejo? I haven't heard much on Vallejo anymore. You're talking about the defensive tackle that I believe he's from Texas, but he's committed to Michigan. I haven't heard much recently on that. On Tank Jones, though, Miami continues working there. He's committed to Oregon. There is some discussion about him potentially taking a third visit to Miami this season. Auburn's still very involved. Alabama, Texas A&M. It's not a done set deal yet, but all programs are going to continue to work down to signing day. It's way too early to say where that's going to head. Charles King, next year's offensive line: Joel Irvin, Samson Okunlola, S.J. Alafai-Tuli, Tommy Kinsler, and Jackson Cantwell. The one I disagree with is Alafai-Tuli. Still needs to work on his snapping as a center. I could potentially see that being Ryan Rodriguez, who has really impressed the coaches behind the scenes. I've been told to the point that they don't feel like there's a major drop-off with him after Brockermeyer at center. Center is the natural position of Ryan Rodriguez. He's cut his teeth. He's put in his time with the program. He gets snaps in real games, too. They line him up as an extra blocker, as a tight end. A lot of guys like him around the program. I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Rodriguez is Miami's center next year, barring anything unforeseen. But, yeah, everything else, we'll see. You know, competition's got to lay itself out and play out between the spring and fall. It's still too early to say.
Are all of our starters, how many, are they all going to go? Or
Francis likely gone, just based on positioning with like where he'll go with the draft. Inez Cooper's already exhausted all of his eligibility at this point, especially playing already in his 5th game this year. That's already done deal. He can't come back another year. Tommy Brockermeyer is a one-and-done guy. Matthew McCoy can return next year. I think he's a guy who could potentially start. Samson Okunlola will return. I think he will be a starter too. Markel Bell, it's kind of up in the air because there is the JUCO ruling that came down that he could potentially apply for a waiver to come back another year, but there's no guarantee that gets approved either. There's guys that have gotten it, and then there's guys that they've just denied it.
I thought your JUCO years don't count.
Yeah, it's like a technicality. Really, it all boils down to what the NCAA basically wants to do in terms of your eligibility. Like, there's guys that had a real case for it, and they just didn't approve it. They just denied it and said, that's it. You know, there's no more. But a guy that challenged that was Diego Pavia. You know, he challenged that through the court system, and he won. So, well, and there's a receiver this year at Oregon. Forget his name now, but he was a JUCO kid too. He first started off at, I think he was like at Alabama, then he went to Florida State, and now he's at Oregon. These kids jump around programs every year, but he's another one of those guys that won the JUCO ruling. So, yeah. Juan Manuel, James Franklin shines bald. Your head for $52 million at Penn State. Charles King, is there tape on Congdon? I'd like to see it. Yes, there is. You got to look it up on Huddle. I believe there's some wrestling tape out there too. Paul Emalik, how are things looking for flip season following the recent results and ranking? I just got to continue letting it play out, but Miami's in a good position for a few guys. Some guys like Justice Fitzpatrick that they're positioned well for. Calvin Russell as well. Not that those are done deals yet, but Miami's in a better position now than they've ever been in those 2 recruitments. Anthony Monsanto, it's weird. There's a delusional thing with Ohio State fans. Even though they won the national championship because they lost Michigan, they still wanted Ryan Day to get fired. Even after the national championship? I don't think so. I think the whole tune changed.
After the championship, they were.
No, yeah, I know. Immediately, like I said earlier, once they lost to Michigan at that time.
Right after Michigan, they wanted to. And they were just waiting for the shoe to drop. He loses one. They were almost rooting to lose in the playoffs, so they thought they were good to go ahead and get rid of him finally.
He was getting the same flack as James Franklin, maybe worse. Yeah.
Juan Manuel said, Brett, they really wanted Jimmy gone after 86. Dennis Erickson thought after the Cotton Bowl fiasco had gotten a lot of heat, nearly quit both before the Natty years.
Dennis Erickson had his own issues, but he did win. He's the only guy to win 2 championships in Miami. And then the program went obviously downhill, and Butch had to rescue it.
Juan Manuel said, Alabama may get upset at Missouri this year. That is a game to watch this weekend.
Oh, this week, yeah.
Missouri's got a pretty good team. And they have one of the better pass rushers in the country, Damon Wilson. Yeah, legit. Kalen DeBoer is not an Alabama guy. Just like Bill Curry in '89. If he loses to Auburn this year, he maybe get fired. Yeah, well, if you lose that game, yeah, that's a pretty big deal. And he's gonna lose the Iron Bowl. Paulie said the returner lowered his head when he's talking about the Dylan Day tackle on special teams. Yep. Anthony Montano, I've been saying this for the past 4 years. What do these referees expect these players to do when a player is sliding down? They can't stop themselves from going full speed. Absolutely. Absolutely. They need to reevaluate the targeting rules. Yes, this is a possibility. Jake said, I thought that targeting call was baloney. He got more of the receiver's shoulder and just a little piece of face mask with his helmet. Yeah.
The announcers didn't even bring it up. I texted you and Cliff Mondo. I said, I think that could be targeting. They weren't even mentioning. And when they came back, it's like, oh, there's a targeting on the play.
Yeah, you did.
Let's see. One man well said there should be flagrant targeting, ejection / non-intentional targeting, 15 yards, no ejection. Absolutely agree.
Kane Jones is a different story.
Yeah. Kane Jones said, Gio, you mean there should be a level to the charge of targeting? Yes, I do believe so. I absolutely believe so. I think tossing a guy out of the game who I think it's pretty obvious you could tell if there's or not.
Yeah, just like the roughing the punter or the other, running into the punter. But it's hard to say sometimes. But I think they got to give the benefit of the doubt to the player. And the thing is, they're saying they're doing this to protect the guy that is targeting. They're doing it to protect the guy that's leading with his head. So I just think the penalty is excessive if they can't determine
penalty, but out for next week for a half. It's like it's just asinine.
Exactly. You know what? Anyway, I'm not going to go where
Lord Bakington said, these quarterbacks with 4 to 6 years of college experience are really succeeding in the NFL. It is true.
Mm-hmm.
It is true. It used to, everyone used to make the big fuss about, oh, this quarterback 3 and out and da-da-da. A lot of guys are staying extra time, and it's paying off.
On a side note, Lord Bakington is a great name, by the way. I love that.
The name of the day.
Let's see here. One Manuel said, who gave Mike Norvell a black eye? None other than Mario Cristobal.
Either that or some really upset FSU boosters. My goodness. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Shiner.
Yes, he did.
I've been wondering who did that or how it happened, but I've come up dry. Lakers all day dope. Hey, Armando, you could
Lakers all day guy. The run's up for a while, I think, right?
Said, what's up with JoJo? we already discussed the stuff on JoJo earlier.
JoJo White? Oh, no, JoJo Trader. Okay.
Jake said he probably tried hooking up with oh, my God.
Yeah, I'll never praise or applaud FSU on anything, but there was a pretty cool video that circulated today of the team and Norvell at the hospital. The kid that got shot in the back of the head got released from the hospital. They pushed him out of the hospital. The whole team was there with Norvell. That's pretty remarkable. The kid was taking his driving his aunt, and the kid got shot in the back of the head, and somehow survived. Freshman linebacker, and the whole team was actually outside the hospital with Norvell, so that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool to see. Kid survived, thank goodness. But that's
this crazy situation overall. I read the police report and everything. Just insane,
nuts.
And the craziest thing about it too was it was that he was mistaken for someone else.
Yes.
That's crazy.
He was driving his aunt somewhere. That's all he was doing.
Canes Jones said, Brett, take this time to talk about the new uniform and CanesWear.com. Plus, let us know who was the closest prediction or who won the $50 discount to CanesWear.
Oh.
Which contest was that? I don't know. I usually which contest was that, Canes Jones? It was the closest to the score?
I said 27-17 last.
Oh, the last time we did it, I said if it was going to be a 52-10. Did anybody, if any of that group had the score, I don't think anybody had 28-22. So I don't think anybody had 28-22. But to the 52-10, the 58-10, the 42-20, I don't think it was too tough because it was not enough close. But we'll have to do another one of those X. Kane Jones, hit me up on X, and I'll do another one for something coming up. It's hard for us to see all the scores of everybody that put it out there. But yes, we're going to be wearing the military jerseys on not Friday, but against Stanford. Mario, it's what he wanted. He did not want to wear black. He wants to support the military, and we'll see. And we're excited about that, even though we've not done great in military jerseys in the past. Really, how many military jerseys have we worn?
Well, you had the one years ago when Miami played Virginia at Hard Rock Stadium.
That was the Al Golden year.
I actually liked those though, like the sand color jersey. It wasn't that bad.
Correct. That wasn't bad. I mean, obviously we know the Canes in '86 with their fatigues coming off the bus. But yeah, but a lot of great things at CanesWear. Canes Jones, thank you. CanesWear.com. Remember, please, everybody, download our app. We're going to be having stories by Gio and Mondo. They're going to be writing great stories soon, and you can see them only on CanesWear app. We're going to have specials and everything else like that. And if you're an old time fan, remember Kenny Calhoun is going to be in the store not this Saturday, but the Saturday after the Louisville game. And if you guys don't know who Kenny Calhoun is, look him up. He was the guy that brought us our first national championship by knocking the ball away on the 2-point conversion from Nebraska. Awesome play that was. He'll be there. We're trying to get a couple other players too. We'll see about that. But great stuff. We got the Canes country shirt, beating all the teams. So basically the state championship and another back-to-back state championship shirt coming. They will debut tomorrow in the store. Lots of other really cool things coming in. So keep your eye out. CanesWear.com. Thank you, Kane Jones.
Raf Lopez said, last thing to worry about is Mario in recruiting. He's going to get talent. Yeah, It's brutal for Mario's competition. Yeah.
Totally, pretty much.
He will. The talent will get in the building, and it already has, and it will continue to. It's not
as we show right now.
I think fans, like for example, this time last year. Well, I shouldn't say this time last year. I would say probably it was like December last year. Fans were freaking out. They're saying, "Oh, we didn't get a top 10 class." I tried telling people by the average ranking, like where the kids are rated. It was Mario's best class he signed. It was a smaller class, but the talent level of it was actually better than the prior ones. It just the volume of players in it wasn't there. And I had people tell me, I don't want to hear that. We didn't get a top 10 class. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, oh my God. Like you look at some ranking and you say to yourself, oh yeah, we got top 10. It doesn't matter if you filled the back half of that class with fillers.
That's like the people that look at the ESPN poll and have us number 9 in the algorithm. It's like, oh, look at this, but ESPN says it's you know what? Believe what we see on the field. And I mean, where was Malachi? What was he?
I always said this even back then. It's very criminal. He was rated as a 3-star.
Okay, look at that.
3-star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so you never know. Mario obviously knows a little bit about recruiting.
They need to check out some of these Southeastern region evaluators because I don't know what they're watching.
Exactly.
It seems like everyone in South Florida knew, but not the regional guys. Charles King said, only we can duplicate Anthony Monsanto. The mentality of these kids, though, in general, guys, is that they've been told their whole life that they're the best player. And when they're being recruited, they're promised
great point.
Well, they don't get promised that they're going to start at Miami. It's very different at Miami. They tell them you have an opportunity to be great here and compete, but no promises on starting.
You're right. They are. A lot of these kids are the best of the best. And, you know.
And I know sometimes people say, oh, but when we bring in these transfer guys, we promise them they're going to start and whatnot. That's not the case. There's transfer guys that Miami has brought in that were pretty good players at their previous program, and they didn't end up starting here.
True.
There's been a few in recent time. Let's see. They have to transfer because Lord Baconson. Gio, how far along is Kellen Wiley to get playing time? I spoke about that earlier. George Blanco. With that said, who is our starting QB next year? That's no one knows yet.
TBD. Not TBD, but TBD.
TBD, to be determined. Lord Baconson. I live in Maryland. Their QB Washington is a dog. You can spin it. Yes, the freshman quarterback at Maryland, really good too.
Mm-hmm.
No, keep getting senior veteran quarterbacks. I agree
on that too.
I agree. Let them compete on Green Tree and figure it out. If a freshman
and it doesn't piss off the kids we recruited.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this. Balin Trujillo, the quarterback coach for Darion Coleman, he shared recently that even Darion has said it. Look, like if Miami brings in a transfer guy, well, then guess what? I'm going to compete against him, and I'm going to try to prove that I'm the guy. I like that mentality because there are special quarterbacks out there in the country that are a freshman or redshirt freshman or sophomore that do emerge. Not all of them, but hey, let them compete. If you're better than the transfer guy, go ahead. Perfect example, Brad Kaya. Back then in the golden era, I know it's very different times, but they brought in a transfer guy to compete with him. He was competing with Ryan Williams as well. I mean, Ryan Williams got hurt, but Brad Kaya ended up getting the job, and the rest was history, So you got to just let it play out in practice. Raf Lopez, trenches and linebackers are positions relegated to playing upperclassmen due to physicality. Absolutely. Anthony Monsanto, Gio, you're saying Cam Ward is a better college athlete, a quarterback than Michael Vick, who don't play when you're in college. Not that he was a better athlete than Vick, but I do think Ward is a more talented passer than Michael Vick, though.
I definitely think so too. But Gio, how old were you when Michael Vick was playing in college?
Oh, when I was like
2.
Yeah, no, I was like 5. I do.
So you didn't see Michael Vick. You said the guy.
I saw Michael Vick in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. So he was 5. So Anthony, he did not see him. So excellent point. Those are the guys you actually saw playing.
Paulie said, run, punt, run, short pass, punt. Penalties didn't change play calling. He has a point. I think it also boils down to just execution, but penalties did destroy some of those drives. George Blanco, what was the name of the defensive player that went to LSU last year? Any chance we can get him back if he goes in the portal? You're talking about DJ Pickett. Family ties. Both of his cousins will be here at Miami, but again, it's just hypotheticals at the end of the day. Lakers all day dope. Are we getting new jerseys? I heard some discussion about potentially a jersey for next year for a specific game honoring the 2001 team. But I know Mario's very meticulous about these things, and that team's really got to prove it to put on those jerseys. He's not going to just let them to put it on just to have fun out there.
I will say next year is number 26, so hopefully we'll be getting a lot of 26 different jerseys for obviously probably the most popular number definitely for most recent Canes fans in the last 20 years probably.
Anthony Monsanto said, Gio, if Shannon Dawson leaves for a head coaching job, maybe at Virginia Tech or Florida, what are your thoughts on replacing him with Todd Monken? I like Todd Monken. I know it hasn't gone so great with the Ravens this year, but his offenses at Georgia were really fun to watch. He got really creative with the guys that he had, and I think
that'd be good. I don't think Shannon Dawson's going anywhere though, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't look. Like I've said before, Dawson has received offers in the past. It's from smaller schools. I don't expect him to jump at one unless it's a really big offer. It would have to be a big-time program for him to jump at. He's in a great position. Think about it. Yeah. He has a pipeline of transfer quarterbacks coming in with his system and a proven thing going on in the offensive line that he has.
The line is the key. He gets to walk in there every day. He doesn't have to recruit those guys. They just show up.
Exactly.
You get the trenches set, it's half the battle, more than half the battle.
Yeah. Well, that being said, though, if ultimately most coaches in that sport, like any sport, want to be the guy also. So if somebody offers him something that he deems to be a good spot, you can't fault the guy for saying yes to go be a head coach. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. I think
I agree with your point, though. I agree with your point.
But yeah, you want them to be like you're getting the head spot soon too, aren't you, Armando, with a big promotion?
Possibly. No, it's actually a lateral move starting next week, and it's a lot less stress. So I'm actually gonna be up at 5 a.m, and I only got like 4 more days left where I'm at, but looking forward to it. Trust me, it's been crazy. It's just been crazy.
Wait, you're going somewhere else now, Mondo?
No. Same place, just a lateral move, but a different department. Which where I'm at, it's like 2 different worlds, and trust me when I tell you, it's like a gorilla off my back. It's
that's good.
It's been 5 years doing what I'm doing, and it's time for a change. Trust me.
Less stress.
It's been a lot. Oh no, it's not even comparable. It's not even comparable.
That's good. I'm glad for you, especially with your load.
Lord Bacon said Damian Lewis was a great get for defensive line coach. Yeah, He's done a good job with the D tackles.
Great guy too.
Let's see here. If JoJo flops, then Jeremiah was right. That cannot happen. Well, look, it is what it is. It's still a whole season to play out. We have to see what happens. However, how can that saying be right when Malachi Tony just came in here and lit the college football world on fire as a true freshman?
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
For one, there's always another. Let's see. Both interceptions, Bain could have been given an assist for. Yes, absolutely. Malik Bryan, what's going on? We discussed that. Canes Jones. Don't say that, Brett. You all have great content. Stop the self-slander. Y'all my guys.
Thank you, Kate Jones. It's a big
Let's see. Juan Manuel said, what is Bill Belichick going to do after North Carolina?
He's going to do his girlfriend. That's what he's going to do.
He's going to do whatever he wants. He's got enough money to live a good life.
Setup. That was a setup. Come on, man.
There you go. There you go.
Big said, I need a U shirt with a ninja roach on the left shoulder and then CanesWear across the back. I still think back about that episode. Brett was twitching like he was tweaking. Do you remember that, Brett?
When I was twitching, I think I do. But the oh, that's right. When that thing came, I do. Yes, that would be a good one. Now I do recall it. Yes, that was quite funny. I thought to myself, did anybody see that? You're live on camera. But I like that. The roach with the CanesWear shirt. I like it.
Juan Manuel's got another great Bill Belichick question. How old was Miss Jordan Hudson when Bill Belichick won his first Super Bowl? Ew, man.
Was she born?
I don't think Juan Manuel approves of this relationship. What do you think, guys?
Philip Brooks. Gio, we need to get Kenai Pepe. Do you like our chances? I absolutely hate Miami's chances. I don't expect Miami to get into that. Canes Jones, Dadgum Gio, you done doxed the doppelganger account. Some of us like our anonymity.
yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Orange Green.
I told he was the same person.
Yeah, like, that guy's great. Oh shit, it's him.
Orange said,
that's funny.
Orange Green said, Jacoby Thomas is better all around. Cam was better, maybe just on the back end, and a great tackler as well. I just think they're both different types of players, to be honest. They have different skill sets.
I mean, I think about two things with Cam. I think about the Georgia Tech game, which I hate to put that in my mind. The Georgia Tech game, the collapse, and Cam was a beast. I mean, he was a ball hawk also.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check out, guys. I gotta be up at 5. So
we got 2 more comments. But Mondo, tell us.
Okay, I'll wait.
It's probably like 10 here. All right, you don't have to wait. You got to get up.
No.
Mondo, tell everybody your ex name. What's happening with you.
Well, Lakers all day will be happy to hear this. It's actually at Lakers Canes 305, and I'm always on X, obviously, popping off, talking crap, and I can't wait to go watch the boys play again next Friday. I'll be at Hard Rock, at the stadium, and I'm not on 100 shows like Gio, but I love to chop it up about the Canes and always here with you guys, right? Whenever I can. I know it gets crazy with the kids sometimes, and
well, now that he's going to have an easier job, there's no more excuses.
Yeah. No, you hear that, baby? I'll be here next week.
No more excuses.
Yeah. No, my old
family on. That's fine.
But seriously, family's important. It goes quick. My oldest just turned 14 on Monday. The twins will be 6 on Veterans Day. So it's crazy how fast. I know Gio's kids are growing up, and it goes quick. It's really crazy how life just it's wild. So just cherish every moment and laugh a lot, and that's about it. Go Canes, baby.
All right.
Go
Thank
Canes.
you, Mondo. We appreciate you being part of the show, and thank you for the life lesson.
Yes, sir. I'll see you guys.
Quick, and I totally agree.
And Eric Marrero, you've been outed, Eric. You've been outed. Later, guys. I'll see you.
See you later, buddy.
All right.
Anthony Monsanto said here, Gio, I like Joel Urban, but I don't think based on the tape I've seen of him, he has the feet to stay at tackle. I think he's a guard or center at the next level. I've actually heard some comparisons for him from some people about like Jalen Rivers. I think Miami would be really happy to have another Jalen Rivers. He was a solid player. Hassan said, Gio, it seems Miami is recruiting better when they're not good. Miami was still getting recruits when Miami lost. We didn't get a recruit after win against Notre Dame, Florida, and Florida State. Just patience. Some of these kids like the drama and suspense, especially when you get closer to November and even December. Kids will start to make their business decisions. So
was saying we weren't top tier before, but if we win, if we get to the playoffs and we win a game there or more, I think we're definitely going to be a top tier team.
Yes, absolutely. Ari Marcus, do you think next year we stop the cycle of bringing in high profile transfer QBs and roll with Emory or Luke? No, I think Miami brings in another transfer, honestly. Juan Manuel, Gio, can Mario get Markel Bell to come back? I spoke about that earlier. He's got to deal with the waiver process if he were to choose that. Bobby Perkins, hey guys, how long do you think we keep Corey Heatherman? That's a good question.
That is a great question. I've been nervous about that myself.
We got to see. There's a lot of college teams that try to sling around money to poach coordinators and specific assistant coaches for programs. I think he's happy here from what I've seen. The kids love him. They love to be in the film room with him too. Actually, I spoke with a source close to the program about that. They said they've never seen the kids so excited to watch film before. So he makes it fun.
Is there a better place to be? I mean, if it's a lateral move in South Florida and Coral Gables, and you can't be and the amount of talent that Mario is recruiting.
Yeah. Trey Kendrick shared here. Are we in it for Drake? So you're talking about the blue chip pass rusher from the state of Georgia. Yes. Miami is in it for him, and they actually went to visit him this week. So they're still working on that for a potential visit. Ari Marcus said, I don't understand how Calvin Russell can go to Q's. Yeah, but still a whole recruiting cycle left. There's still a few months. Kids will make their final decisions soon. Temi said, baby Jesus, Malachi Tony's averaging 75 receiving yards per game. Yes, and I think that can increase too. Canes Jones, great show, guys. Fans, don't forget to like and subscribe and swing by CanesWear or shop online at CanesWear.com. Go Canes. Thank you, Canes Jones.
Canes Jones, we appreciate the love and support. Thank you very much. Always do.
They approved another JUCO guy this year, the DB at Houston. If Markel Bell wants to, why hasn't Miami filed the paperwork now? So Bell knows he has an extra year for sure. Gio, let UM Law Department know. Yeah, I mean, I'll try to find out, but as far as I know, he does need a waiver to potentially get another year.
Does he want to come back?
I don't have a clear answer on that.
They don't want to go ahead and spend and do all that work, and then he leaves.
Yeah. Lord Bakington, thank you, Mondo. Let me do my introduction here. Hear you. Gio, the receiver for Oregon that you're thinking of that went to community college, then went to Alabama, then to Florida State is Malik Benson. Yes, correct. Very fast player, but hasn't had a lot of success yet. Gio, do a good Samaritan Canes work, please. Bug and tell Miami Law Department to get Markel Bell's extra year. One Manuel Dallas Wilson is a receiver that got away. He looks like a Jeremiah Smith talent level versus Texas. Yeah, he looked really good against Texas for Florida. But again, Miami, they have a pair of really good freshman receivers themselves. So it is what it is. LTO official, what's up with Luke Nickel? I haven't heard much about how he's progressing. So I know he got honors for like scout team player of the week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was in one of the recent games. That, and then also there was during the off season, he's got like a gunslinger mentality, and I've mentioned this before too, that he has to cut down on some of the mistakes and turnovers that he's a little prone to right now. The encouraging thing is that he's still young. Definitely more willing to fire the ball than some of the other quarterbacks on the roster. So that gives you some hope that, as you try to corral him with time and try to prevent those turnovers and mistakes that a young quarterback makes. We'll see. It's still the end of this season and a whole off season for him to work. So I have to see. Eddie Delva, Miami is their biggest schedule obstacle left on the schedule. Let's not bet ourselves. Penalties, questionable play call. Go Canes. I agree with that. Miami could be their own worst enemy.
Totally agree.
At least from what we
should be able to win.
Eddie Delva said Jackson will get a chance to go up against Bain in practice when he's early enrollment. Baptist Jackson Cantwell in fire. Yep. Anthony Manzano, Gio, who are the corners we're targeting for 2026 if Kenton decides not to reclassify and stays in? No, he's already reclassified, actually. So Miami's not really going after corners right now. They're looking at safeties. I mentioned 4 of those names earlier, between guys like Justice Fitzpatrick, who they've made a lot of progress with over the past 2 months. They're after Aiden Pouncey, who they tried getting in for the Florida game. Could potentially see him show up for the Syracuse game if they can get that one done. They hosted Tyree Green for the Florida game, and there has been some contact with Blake Stewart as well, who's committed to Clemson. And one more guy that they've been kind of keeping tabs on, not a take right now, but Tadarius Hughes, Florida State commit at Miami Northwestern. Jake said, great show, guys. Thank you. It's all about the U, baby. Let's go, Canes. Thank you, Jake. Anthony Manzano, the comparison I have for Luke Nickel is a more consistent and accurate version of Ryan Fitzpatrick. Interesting. Juan Manuel, last comment of the night. Mario can't lose Heatherman to a lateral move. Mario should ride with these 2 coordinators until they both have a head coaching job of choice. I absolutely agree. And I've said this before about the University of Miami. When I know fans get concerned, but we might lose this guy or he might leave or whatever. A sign of a great program is when you have assistant coaches and head coaches consistently getting promoted or moving on to a big-time job. You saw this with the Miami teams of the 80s and the early 90s and even the early 2000s. How many guys on that coaching staff became head coaches? Some are still head coaches right now. Mark Stoops is the head coach at Kentucky. What's this guy's name? The guy that was with the Colts, he ended up getting sick, but he was a Miami coach in the early 2000s. I forget his name now, but he got sick, but he was the head coach for the Colts for quite a bit. The other guy, which was the defensive coordinator, Greg Schiano, he became a head coach too, Rutgers, and then with the Bucks, and then back with Rutgers now. I'm sure I'm forgetting some other guys.
The LSU coach was a coach at Miami. Obregon?
Orgeron, yeah, in the early 90s.
The other guy, Colorado State for a long time, was under Dennis Erickson. I think he's still coaching. I forgot his name. He's the head coach. Obviously, we've had coach after coach after coach come through this program.
Yeah.
Obviously, Johnson, all the guys he had, from Butch Davis, who went on to obviously to Dallas, and then Dave Wanstead.
Pagano, that was the name I was forgetting. He was
exactly. Good call, Blue. But Dave Wanstead was assistant coach here. Yes. These are NFL coaches. So there's a lot of guys that came through the program.
Well, look at it with Alabama. How many coordinators that Saban had to cycle in and out because he had guys become head coaches. Mario Cristobal was under Nick Saban.
Kirby Smart
was also under Nick Saban. Billy Napier was under Nick Saban as well. So,
isn't the Clemson coach, was he under Nick Saban or he was never under Saban?
Who?
What's his name? The Clemson coach.
Oh, Dabo Swinney, no.
But he coached at Alabama. He played at Alabama and coached at Alabama. But it wasn't under Saban. It was before Saban?
Yeah, it was before Saban. And we had one more comment roll in. Hi, guys. Great show. Any position you think might be a weakness? At this time, we don't see any. Thanks, guys. I
don't think
I would like to see more from the tight ends, but I'm not ready to jump and call it a weakness. I think they do have the talent in that room. I think it just needs to come together.
Absolutely. Well, great show. Great show. Thank you so much. We had a ton of questions. I'm sure a lot of people are watching the late night with
we had
Brett.
We started close to 10 o'clock.
About 9:45.
Looked at the numbers here. We had over 2,000 people show up. Late night crew. Thank you, everyone. Hundreds of comments. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, they were all Canes fans, so it was like we didn't have to deal with the other teams' comments. And,
I knew the Florida State fans weren't going to come back.
Yeah, we asked them to come. Are you guys going to show up? And the answer was absolutely not. Holy mackerel on mine, Gio. Oh no, on Finn's talk, he had 1,300 people watching.
That's great.
On his X, and so there's a lot of people watching this, and it's awesome stuff. So it's well, good stuff. We had a lot of people watching. We appreciate it, and you guys are the best. We thank you so much for supporting our program. Thank you so much for supporting CanesWear. Like Canes Jones says, CanesWear in Davie, the spot, Miami Fan Shop, and CanesWear.com. Remember, go to your Android, Google, or iPhone app and download the new CanesWear.com app. We're going to be doing lots of fun things on that. And we're going to have Kenny Calhoun in the store, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, and working on some other big things. So real excited. Gio, tell everybody where you're going to be.
Yeah, everyone can find me on X at Gio Milian. Was also on 560 WQAM or 104.3 FM now. Earlier this week, talking Miami Hurricanes football as well. I'll be on Comics on Canes tomorrow with Michael Yo around sometime in the early afternoon. If you're on the East Coast, around like 3 o'clock or so, I'll be on there. And plenty of other shows. Sometimes I'm on Locked on Canes with Alex Dono. I'll be back again with Amon Richards with Who Wants Smoke really soon as well. We're just coordinating some things with the schedule that hasn't exactly worked out recently, but we will be back on very soon. And that's about it. And go Canes. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the bye week. Watch college football games with a peace of mind this weekend that you don't have to worry about Miami's game because they're off this week. You get to enjoy if any rivals lose their games this week.
Absolutely. Blue asking next Thursday, next show. I mean, we're either Wednesday or Thursday. We try for Wednesdays. If we can be Wednesday, we will. If not, we'll let everybody know it'll be Thursday. But Wednesday would be the goal. I'm glad the West Coast Canes are watching us, Canada Cane. That is great to know. And guys, like Jake says, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to FTSN Network. Bobby and the guys do a great job. But thank you to our listeners. We really appreciate it. And you were just on 560 with Brett can't speak all of a sudden with
Bluestein.
Larry Bluestein. That's right. So, all right. So, yes. So awesome stuff. So, all right, guys. Thank you again. We appreciate it. It's all about the you. We look forward to seeing you next week when we preview the Louisville game. Go Canes. We will talk to you soon. Have a great night or a great morning.
Go Canes. Everyone take care. Have a good night.